Welcome back to Dragons of Etchinstone. We are still trying to crack Rodving on normal. With crack I mean having consistent wins and not having it feel like it's still up to luck. I feel like in the last two games I still stumbled into hardships that I could have prevented by upgrading the cards differently. And maybe I should focus more on a balanced upgrade, so more threes, such that I am not that dependent on luck. If I drop one of the 4 cards, for example, with the journey time penalty, then, well, it won't hit me as much. And trying to overall go for more boost cards, I guess, which are helpful in both scenarios. And shields, obviously, so we can soak up the damage. But it is noteworthy that Rodving in the first 2 tiers is not that much of a difference. It's if you go up to 27 damage, you are just preventing 3 damage, and 3 damage should probably not make the difference. So if you want to have a real difference, that's another 9 damage, you really have to go up to this 32. But it seems hard to do on normal. Let's see what we can do. We do start with fighting enemy number 1. And of course we should not start in the Forest of Garth, but in the Jade Mountains. Let's also flip this back here to the regular phases of play. Alright, so the first enemy in the Jade Mountains in region 1 has 7 life and 8 initiative. We do have a damage of 8 that has the right element. That means that we could focus on the initiative instead. And there is a 5 initiative, but unfortunately we do not have a boost of 3. So I don't think we can reach the initiative with the cards that we have. Since the best boost is 2 and the highest natural initiative is 5, so yeah, there's no chance that we can actually do that. Which does mean we should go for a full victory to not take damage twice. So 7 damage, that's not yellow. The only damage we have is the Rain of Blood. Since the initiative is irrelevant, I will probably boost this or cast this with the element from Burning Bridges, which then also means that the boost is irrelevant because we already do enough damage. We do have to soak up 1 damage, and I think the consideration here is between these 2 cards that only need 1 XP to level up again, so that's probably cheaper to downgrade one of those, or we go for something like the Burning Bridges if we are content with not going for red shields because it's not a good card anyway, and downgrading this doesn't actually make it that much worse because it's not good to begin with. The next card is a Destruction, so it would need a red element. That would mean we could keep this one here. The blue element is not relevant for these. None of these cards have any hardship, but if we upgrade the Motivated Flight, we will upgrade into Knight, so that's nothing I like. The 4 XP could mean that we do upgrade the Burning Bridges after all, or the Fleet-Footed if we want to have it efficient, but I don't think we should consider too much that we should not waste 1 XP. We should rather upgrade the cards we want to upgrade. As usual with Rodving, I'm hesitant to upgrade red combat cards because they do not have a good boost or initiative. The shield is okay, but the 14, even if upgraded to level 4, is really not good because of the red shield. So maybe that's a card that we should downgrade to take the hit. Yeah, so I do think I talked myself into upgrading this one here because it does not have a hardship. It's a really good initiative and at least has a good boost. So we're going up from 2 to 4. Do we want to keep this? It would not harmonize well with the next card. But then again, we are drawing 2 more cards and we have 2 elements already. Well, actually all elements are somewhere on the card. So if you draw a red or yellow element, we can boost either of those. We do have elements for whatever we draw. If you draw the same colors, we can fuse, so I don't think that's a big downside. Yeah, I think I want to go for this. So the initiative we can't match, so we take early damage, but we then can get up to 8 red attack with a boost of 2, that's even 10, so this is a complete victory and we don't get another damage, which means that we downgrade this to level 1 with the idea of it being easy to upgrade again, and we use the 4 XP to upgrade the Fleet-Footed to level 3 and we discard these 2 cards. We then draw the Destruction, then a Brute Force, so at that point we can fuse already, and we have an Adept that can power this, or these can power themselves. And I feel like we are missing a red element, but let's see what we have to do. It's the 4th enemy with 13 life and 2 initiative. Unfortunately, again, even if we could power this with the boost of 4, that's just 12. So I don't think we can match the 13 life, which does mean we just need the initiative of 2. So either of these 2 cards should probably be our element, or we have to use the boost on the initiative. And we do need 7 damage, which is not purple. Or if it is purple, we do need 10 damage. This would not work because it's just 5 and the biggest boost we have is 4, so we should probably go with damage that's not purple, which pretty much leaves the 8 here. If we do not go for an element, that could be an option. We have these 2 cards that give us 3 attack, which is without an element. And we do have a 4 boost, that's 7, which does mean we can circumvent fusing, which is probably desirable because we are then not losing a card. It does mean that we do need this as our boost card and one of these 2 here to get an initial damage of 3, so we can get up to 7. And the way I placed it here, this pretty much has to be our element then, because we do need the boost for the damage if we go for this. Actually, we can't fuse into red because the only same element cards we have are blue, Destruction and Brute Force, and we would not even be able to play the 8 attack anyway. So we have to do it like this, which does mean this can't be our initiative, so this has to be our initiative. So we can't even swap those. So it's pretty much the way we already played it here. So we do have initiative 3, no early damage, but then we can come up with an attack of 7. That's a partial victory. Again, we take damage, 3 purple, which if we do not want to downgrade 2 cards means we do have to downgrade the fleet foot that we just upgraded. That seems to be a pattern in my games, that I upgrade 1 card, keep it for the next hand, and I have to downgrade it right away. We will get 8 XP, which if we downgrade this means probably upgrading these 2 cards if you do not want to upgrade this. And I do think both of these cards will cost 4 to upgrade again, so we could upgrade one of them 2 times. That's one of the cards I do like, because it gives the option to unpowered have an okay movement. That should be enough for a partial victory with any boost. And if powered, it's actually a nice attack, has a really nice boost. But the shield is nothing too fancy. Yeah, but we said that, or we motivated why this has to be like this. This would be an element that we can actually use to power this, so I like that. And I don't think I want to downgrade 2 cards, but I could. I could leave this as 3, downgrade these 2. Again, that's a red attack card. That shouldn't be too bad to downgrade. It costs 2 to upgrade again. But here is the card that's really cheap to upgrade again if we downgrade this. So downgrading these 2 would give me a penalty of 4 XP basically if I want to repair that at any point in time. And I could then upgrade this twice. If I upgrade this, I have only 2 XP left. That won't do. I do like to upgrade a card that I am keeping. But just to figure this out, if I downgrade this, this will also have an XP penalty. And it will be 4 XP. So it's actually the same if we downgrade these 2. So I think I want to try that. That's polarizing the cards a bit. Instead of having 3 2s, I will have a level 3 and 2 1s. Maybe that's time to try that. So we do get 3 damage, which we soak with these 2 cards here. So they're going down to level 1. This can then stay at 3. Maybe it's more important to have high level cards. So rather have 2 level 3s or 1 level 3 and 2 level 1s instead of having all 2s, because all 2s usually after the first region don't do much for you. So if you have at least 1 high level card, maybe that's the trick here, that you have a high initiative or high boost, or if you really take a lot of damage, to have cards with the right element as a defense. I just noticed that I downgraded this card then again to the hazardous. That's not good, but I do think I want to try the strategy to not go down to all 2s again, but have it a bit more polarized. And then the 8 XP we get is 3 and 4 to upgrade this to level 4. So this is now a really nice card. And we go on by drawing the Determined March, then an Adept and a River Swiftness. We do have to fight the second enemy, which has 11 health and 4 initiative. That's quite interesting that we fought the first, then the fourth, and then now the second. And just to point it out, we always took some damage because it's really hard to get the initiative and a full victory. So to whoever wrote on the forums that they usually don't do well if they take damage in the first 2 shuffles, which I think he means regions. That's insane. How would you do that? I don't know how this can happen unless you are extremely lucky. But let's go on. We have 11 health with 4 initiative. Fortunately, we do by now have a card that has 11 damage, so we don't need to use the boost for damage, and it's the right element, so it avoids the armor. So if we can power this, I feel like we have a good chance for not taking damage for a change. And we do only need a 4 initiative, but we can use the boost. So this one here would be 6 initiative with the right element. It would already kill it. So we don't need boost for either. At that point, I think we should think about what we want to keep. And it's tempting to keep the Adept because this can just power the Rain of Blood and vice versa. So we could use this as our boost. But it would be a 6 initiative against 4. And 11 damage due to the purple element, so this is actually completely irrelevant. And 7, is this enough? Yeah, it's enough to update the Adept twice. which sets up for a very nice last turn. We could also keep this, just to point it out, but we then cannot power the Rain of Blood with this card, but we could power this. But I feel like if we really have an Adept, 9 movement, or attack with a boost of 5, that should be enough. Because we could fix the initiative also by playing another card here. If it's, for example, the 3 here, then we can use the boost on this to also not take early damage. But I do think I want to leave it at that. So 6 initiative, 11 or even 14 damage. So it's a full victory. We get 7 XP. This is already fully upgraded. And I don't think I want to upgrade movement cards at that point, even though the armor's probably better. No, not really. Yeah, this would be better, the 5, than the 3 here. 3 is really bad. But maybe we are so early that having a flexible card like Adept on level 4 is the way to go here. So 7 means 3 and another 4. And we go for our final turn. Drawing the Rain of Blood so they can boost each other or power each other. Frostfire Wall, actually 2 of them. And then we have to do a final journey, the 3, which is 11 red, but at night. So we do lose our initiative again from the boost. And this, unfortunately, is higher, it's higher, it's higher. And that actually gives us a net +1. But I do feel we need this to move at all, because these are not movement cards. So we do pretty much have to power the Adept for 9 movement. But we can't get higher, unfortunately. But the time penalty is just 2, and we do have 2 cards in our deck still. No, 3 actually, because we didn't lose any. So the time penalty will not be converted to damage, and we can just ignore it. Which pretty much means that this is 9 movement, which is more than half that we need for a partial victory. And at that point it doesn't matter at all how we construct our action set. And I do think we just take the 4 XP, because we take the time penalty here. This is the card we can't upgrade because it's still on the deck, but we do have 4 XP to have a final upgrade. The Adept is already level 4. I still don't think I want to go with these kind of cards. Again, same argument, high red damage, which doesn't go well with the armor, and the rest is not as good, but the shield would be good. But nevertheless, I do think, yeah, 6 shield is much better. Yeah, they are both, these are both Frostfire Walls, obviously. So we can upgrade either of those. Let's quickly think about what's better here. To have a blue or red element upgraded. From the cards we have upgraded so far doesn't matter at all. So I'm not sure about this. I think the cards beside it are completely equal. I don't think we will need the red element to power anything. This might be useful to power anything. So that's my reasoning to upgrade this. But I'm not sure it's a good reason. I'm not sure if I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's go with the red one. So we're upgrading this to level 3, and that's the first region. I feel like this went quite well, but we did take damage twice. The time penalty from the last journey was irrelevant, and we had 1 flawless victory. I think that's really, really good. So on to region 2, which are the living marches. We start out with a full hand of level 2s, and we do have to do a journey, which is the second one, 13 blue. We have motivated flight and fleet-footed as movement cards. Determined march as well, but it's just 7. No blue movement. The best boost we have is this. And the only thing that we actually can power is fleet-footed can power the motivated flight, which would bring the movement up to 11 yellow. So we really can't reach the 13 here. It's a time penalty of 2, so this doesn't cost us a turn yet. And it will be 7 XP. That's the most from region 2. So I think I will gladly take that. Looking at these cards, I really want to get rid of these 2 knights here because they could bite me. So if I upgrade them both, this will be gone and this will be gone. So that could be the 7 XP. Holding on to what card? We don't, well, we do have a blue element. So holding on to this could be good to power the Frostfire Wall. And there's no red cards to keep. So holding on to this is actually quite good. So 11 movement, partial victory. Actually, this will be discarded, so that's pointless to argue about. But if we take the 7 XP into this card, we could even upgrade it to level 4 right away. It's tempting, but I do really want to get rid of these knight hardships here. Upgrading this gives us a better boost than this one, unfortunately. That's a good question. This is a really high initiative. That could be good as well. We did upgrade a lot of purple cards already, so holding on to a purple element might be nice. That's also really good if upgraded. But I do want to try out to get rid of the hardships. So I already flipped that. That's a mistake. That's the companion card, it seems, that has the attack here and the movement here. And there's a flipped one, it's also purple. Yeah, I do think I just want to put the 7 XP here. Let's just hold on to this card. Where we would only need 7 movement, but we can't do it with this. Where we can, if we just combine the 4 with the 3. So we could just swap that. Have 4 plus 3. That's also 7 movement. It also does the trick. And we could hold on to this because it does have a higher boost value, actually of 4. And it's a very solid movement that also solves most of the territories. Let's try that. So this card is irrelevant, the element doesn't match, it's 4 plus 3, it's 7 movement, it's a partial victory, we lose 2 time. So the Frostfire Wall and this one is gone. And then we do upgrade this once to get rid of the Night Hardship. This cost us 4 XP. We do have 7, so we can also upgrade this. We discard all these and we draw the Burning Bridges. Rain of Blood and Brute Force, so a very nice upgraded card. And we do have to tackle the second enemy, which has 10 life and 8 initiative. So there is 11 life, and we can actually power that. The problem is, so this would defeat it with a full victory, but we do have only 3 initiative and need to come up with 8. So plus 4 is just 7, unfortunately. If starting with 6, that would be much easier to achieve with any boost, well, except for this. But then we can't power anything with this and we can't fuse either. So because we have all elements, no, we don't. Oh, actually we do. We don't have all elements, so there's no fusing. And if we want to kill it, we need 10 damage. We could do it with the red plus 2, but then we start with 1 initiative. I think that's pointless. So I think using the Rain of Blood to power the Brute Force for 11 does the trick. And again, we can think about what card to keep, because at that point it's irrelevant. We can't reach the 8 initiative anyway. We do need to take 2 yellow damage. That means probably downgrading this card. It's just far too perfect. And 4 XP, that's not much. We have an Adept coming up that can power this. If we upgrade this, this is still not a good movement. It's overall not a good card, unfortunately. We can keep this, but we can't upgrade it. And if we downgrade this, this is already at max level, we all pretty much have to upgrade this. Okay, this can power, so the Adept can power the Burning Bridges, but I don't think that's worth it. I'd rather have a good boost and a good initiative card for my next hand. Alright, so second enemy, 8 initiative we can't reach, so we take early damage. But we do have 11 purple damage. The armor does not match, so the boost is irrelevant. We have a full victory. We downgrade the Rain of Blood to level 1, soaking up 2 damage. This is already at maximum. We do have to upgrade this for the 4 XP we get, because this is just too costly to upgrade. So Burning Bridge is now level 3, which is okay because it does have red armor after all. Alright, so we draw the Adept. We draw a River Swiftness. So now we can power this. And another River Swiftness. And we do have, there's the Hazardous. So this can really come back to bite you. Should not be the highest chance that the cards that you leave with these hardships actually come up as key cards. But, well, it can happen. So we now would have to fight the slow enemy here with the additional hardship of being hazardous. So when you suffer non-poison damage, you suffer a time penalty. And we already suffered 2 time penalty in the beginning. So this will cost us a turn if we take any damage. Alright, so 15 slow means that we can also use movement. Initiative of 2. Well, the initiative won't be a problem. Can we reach 15 damage? I think we actually can. Like the quickest thing I can come up with is using movement. So the yellow element with fleet-footed for 11 plus 5 is 16. That's a full victory. We can hold on to this. That's really nice because that means we use the slow and the hazardous is not irrelevant because we don't take any early damage and don't take any regular damage. There's a Rain of Blood level 1 coming up. That's not useful. Can we hold on to anything else? I do think to come up with 15 we do need a good boost because the highest number is the 11. Yeah, I don't think we can make it in any other combination, unfortunately. So this is really set in stone. But we do just get 8 XP, that's nice. If we upgrade this, I fear we can't upgrade it again, that's true. The Adept is already max level. Upgrading this again goes against my strategy of like equalizing this a little bit, not going for too many 4s, but instead more 3s. So I think I'd rather upgrade these 2, because none of them I can upgrade twice. And if I upgrade this, I can't even upgrade anything else. So I'd rather take the 8 XP, leave this card here as is, do this to level 3, and do this on level 3. Which brings us to the last turn of region 2. And since we did only have a time penalty of 2, we do have a last encounter, but again, we have hazardous again. And we do have a hand of 1-1-3-3, so that's exactly what I wanted. Instead of having all 2s, I wanted this to be like more asymmetric. Let's see what it does. So it's the first enemy with range attack, 9 life, 6 initiative, which again is hazardous. So if we take non-poison damage, we suffer a time penalty. 1 time penalty is actually okay because we still have a card here. So it might not play a role, but let's see. The initiative is manageable if we can play any of these cards as our element. We need to come up with 9 damage. So there's movement. There is 6 red. 6 red is okay, but we cannot really power. So well, we can if we fuse, but if we fuse, we won't be able to get rid of the range. So if we can't do it without fusing, there's no point in even trying. Well, the only elements we have are yellow and purple. So it's the only thing we can power. And this is like a really shitty card, and yellow is movement only. So it doesn't do anything. If we divert, we will just end the region. It might be a play actually to not suffer damage. But then again, getting 5 XP, downgrading 1 card should still be a net positive. For example, downgrading this, actually that would be removed. Yeah, if we downgrade this, it will cost us 4 again. So it's a net positive of 1. But we could take the adept up to level 3, for example, with 5 XP, and then downgrade any of these cards that cost us 4. Yes, but we do have to fuse. At that point, it doesn't matter because the initiative would be matched anyway, but we can't discard our reserve card. But it's actually not even enough damage, so that's a problem. It's only 6 plus 2. That's 8. If we can't make it a full victory, that changes things because then suddenly we are getting 4 damage. Which we could still soak. Okay, so at that point it doesn't actually matter. I have to look up if hazardous goes only after the total damage or for each damage source. So if we take early damage and regular damage, do we get 2 time penalty? Because this would be a problem. But then again, it would just be another damage point. Yeah, so the rules clearly say that hazardous means suffer 1 time penalty if you suffer early damage and 1 time penalty if you suffer combat damage. So every phase of damage is counted separately. So if we downgrade this, which would be good because then we are getting rid of the storm, we can soak 5 damage. We can't get rid of the early damage, so we have to take at least 2 damage. But if we now do only a partial victory, we get 2 damage again. And 2 time penalty. 1 we can use to discard this. And the other will we convert to damage. That's 5. But it's just pretty much downgrading this. And for a partial victory, only need 5 damage. That would even be the Rain of Blood with the Adept boost. So that's trivial to achieve. So we are downgrading this. And now we have 5 XP at least to upgrade something. And I do think I want to use 2 to get it to level 2 and 3 to get it to level 3. And now we have a good and flexible boost card at least. That's region 2. I think that went quite well also. So I'm quite happy. Let's make a mid-region survey. So 3-1, 3-1 at 2, 3-3-4, 3-4. That's really nice. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. So I think overall really good upgrade status. So let's shuffle this and continue to the Burning Basin, region 3. So we start with Fleet-Footed, River Swiftness, Frostfire Wall, and Burning Bridges, all level 3. And we will get a level 4 card, Brute Force. And it makes us battle the second enemy, which is a slow one. 14 life, 4 initiative. We can use movement again. And the biggest number I'm seeing here is Fleet-Footed. So if we use the yellow element, do have initiative of 8. That's far more than needed. Then 11. And we do still need the 4 boost then, which would mean Burning Bridge. So the not so good card would be left over. But it would be a complete victory without early damage. 8 initiative, 11, it's slow, 15. Do we reach 14 with any other combination? The best boost we have is 4, so we would need a 10. We don't have a 10. So I think it's lucky enough that we can do it with yellow element, 11, 15, 8 initiative. That's 8 XP, and I feel like we can't use it to a full extent if we upgrade this, where we can't use the other 4 XP. So we can upgrade exactly 1 card, but whatever card we like. This is nice boost, nice shield. That's really good to upgrade. This one here we do have to keep, but unfortunately it's just still not a good card even on level 4. The boost is not good, the initiative is not good, it doesn't interact with the card we keep. Does it really make a difference? So I do feel like I should go for 2 more armor, 3 more damage, a better boost. With these cards, the armor increases are like much less. The boost increase here is nice, but these are movement cards. This is a combat card. Yeah, I feel like I should go with the Frost Firewall for 4 XP. And there's nothing else left to do with 4 XP, unfortunately. But what can you do? So we draw the Brute Force, a Rain of Blood, level 1 in Determined March. So 1 card of each level. So we do again have a hardship. The second journey, which is 12 yellow movement, 3 time penalty with a storm. So if we suffer time penalty, we also suffer damage. That would be 3 cards and 3 damage. We can't do that. So we have to think about if we can actually manage that. That would be 7 and 5. So let's see, does this solve our problems? Purple for 7 plus 5 is 12. That's 12. Second region. Storm would be irrelevant. I'm really glad that this could work out. This we can't power because we don't have red, and I don't want to fuse if it's not necessary. There's no other movement. There is a 6 movement, but the best boost we have here. So I do think we go with purple, 7 movement, 12 movement. We do need 12. Storm is irrelevant. So full victory, no time penalty. We do get 6 XP. This is already on maximum. This would cost us 3. So with the same conundrum again, do we upgrade the Burning Bridges? I don't think so. This we downgraded because it's a red attack. This is a quite flexible card. So going to level 3 here sounds good. It already has a +5 boost, even on level 3. The shield is not too good. That would be 4 to get to level 3. But to what end? I do think I will upgrade this for 3 XP, leaving us with 3. And we just go back with Rain of Blood to 2. It's not that much better actually. The boost and the shield's actually staying. The initiative got 1 better. It's 2 more damage. That's pretty much it. But what else would I do with the remaining 3 XP? Alright, third turn. We draw the Frostfire Wall, Fleet-footed and Adept. Again, a lot of level 3 cards. The third journey is 10 red, which is treacherous. So without a complete victory, we suffer damage. But we should be able to do this, I hope. Yeah, we do have enough movement already. But we could also use the red movement, but then we would have to fuse. Without, we can only come up with 8. We don't have purple. Yeah, so I feel like we should power the Fleet-footed for 11. That's already doing it. Which probably means that we keep the Frostfire Wall to get rid of the Burning Bridges from our hand. Even though this interacts with this, but again, only with this can power this. I don't think I want to do that. It's just not a good card. So, yellow element, 11 movement, 13 movement. 10 is enough. Treacherous doesn't do anything if we have complete victory, which gives us 5 XP. We do not want to upgrade this. We can't upgrade this. And I do think I want to go with 2 level 3s instead of a level 4 and level 3, as already stated several times. Even though it wastes a bit of XP, but upgrading this gives us a really good boost. So from 2 to 4, initiative 1 higher, shield is even 2 higher. So I like that a lot. So let's draw the Motivated Flight, a Sword of Light and a Rain of Blood. Again, level 1 because we downgraded this. And we have still a flawless record in this region, so we do have 3 cards left. So the final turn. We do have to do a journey again, which is yellow 12. The only movement card is the Motivated Flight, which is 8. But we can power it with the yellow element. And we do have so much boost that I think it will be no problem. Yeah, so it's 8 plus 3 is 11, but we do get the boost here. With 4, that's 15. So we aced that as well. Yellow, 8, 11, 15. So we do get another 6 XP. If we upgrade either of those, we can still upgrade this once, which is preferable to just repair it a bit, but we don't want to upgrade this too much. I think these Swords of Light, they shine due to their initiative, but besides that, they are not that eventful. Whereas this goes up to 6 shield, a good attack, still a good boost, good initiative. So I do like my Frostfire Wall to be level 4. That's 4 XP. So I have 2 left. And I think I will just go back to level 2 with the Rain of Blood. And that's the region 3. We of course do not have enough cards left. One more red attack card that we downgraded. So I'm feeling really confident with this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 4, 3, 3, 3. 3, 4, 3, 3, 4. So a lot of upgrades. Alright, let's go to the last region, which now is the Forest of Garth, as in the beginning. Let's shuffle the deck. So we have a Determined March, a Brute Force, Motivated Flight, and a Rain of Blood. So 2 upgraded cards to regular ones, no level 1s. And we have to do the third journey, which is 12 red for 5 XP. We do have 2 movement cards. We do have a yellow element. We do not have a purple element. So that could mean that we power this. And we would have 2 kickers of 5, which would bring the movement to 13 yellow, and we do only need 12 for 5 XP. I think that's completely and totally fine. We could think about what card to keep, so let's upgrade this first, because these are interchangeable, but I do feel like they are, well, let's see. This could power the Frostfire Wall, but then we would not have a good movement card. This has a really nice boost. This has an awful initiative. I think I'll leave it like at that. We did upgrade this with our 5 XP. So we discard this, go for a second turn. Frostfire Wall, another level 4 card, level 3, level 3. And the second journey is 13 purple. We already have 12 here, but I feel like we can do this in several ways. Now we don't have a yellow element without fusing, so maybe we do use the purple element here to power the determined march. That's already 12, so all we need is +1, but we do get both boosts, so it doesn't even matter in which orientation we are using this. I do think this is a good combination because they can power themselves. So I do think I want to use purple 12, 5, 17, 20. So we ace this. We have 6 XP. And I do think I want to upgrade this because I'm just taking it into the next hand. This is already maximum, as is this. This is a movement card again, and it's not getting that much better. So this would then be like a really nice initiative, good attack, okay boost. Nice shield, so let's just upgrade this, and I don't think we have anything left then. Yeah, from 4, that's only 2 XP left, it doesn't work for us. So we are drawing the River Swiftness, and the Destruction. So again, 1 card of each level, and we would have to fight enemy 3, which has 14 life and freezes. So if we take early damage, we lose our reserve card and 8 initiative. Yellow armor and a red armor. But we have only movement here, a weak attack which is red, so we should go for an attack 10 if we want to fight it at all, which does mean we need the River Swiftness as an element. It does have 8 initiative, so initiative is already taken care of. We don't take early damage, freeze is irrelevant. So we are at 10 minus 2, that's 8, and we do not have any good kickers. So the Burning Bridges is coming up, and we could pair it with Destruction, which sucks. This card doesn't interact with this at all, unfortunately. So I am actually tempted to think about upgrading this. That's 2, another 4 is 6. So we can only upgrade it twice, and we would lose the rest of the XP, but it would be at least 10 attack, and we do get red armor if we draw that for the final fight. If we just go for a partial victory, and we can't do a full, we do only need 7 damage. But without fusing, we can't get this. And we do need the 8 initiative, so we could take this without yellow for 6, but then we would need to boost it to at least have a partial victory, because this would circumvent the armor, but then this can't be our element, and the other 2 we would have to boost even. So I think we can't hold on to any of these. I can't upgrade this twice, or this and the River Swiftness, because this would also be a nice card to hold on to. And we do have to take 4 damage, unfortunately. So I'm tempted to just downgrade the Sword of Light. It loses its charm for a final attack card, but it would still be a good initiative card to play to power something else. And the boost is okay, shield is okay. If we downgrade this, we are going back to level 2. So I do think I want to spread this out a little bit. This we can't downgrade because it's just not soaking enough damage. Yeah, so I do think we have to downgrade the Sword of Light to level 3, but have the 4 armor soak most of the damage. We did have enough attack with 9, a 2 shield at 7, that's exactly half. So we do get 8 XP. This is 2, so we have 6 left. These cards are just not improving initiative-wise and boost-wise. That's the sad part. This is not improving the armor at all. Yeah, I do think I want to go for this because I'm holding on to it. And this can be powered, they can power each other. So I hope this helps us in the next turn. So we do draw the Burning Bridges. No, they can't power each other. What am I talking about? Rain of Blood, Frostfire Wall. But this can power these 2. This can power this. Okay, so we do have to face the second enemy, which is a ranged enemy with 9 life and 10 initiative, which is red. So if we use this, it's just that, which would mean 2 initiative. That's really bad. But I'm not sure we can circumvent the early damage anyway. So 10 damage kills it, and we do not have any kickers to speak of or boosts to speak of to bring up the initiative, at least not to 10. And we would have to discard a card, which is irrelevant because it's the last turn anyway. But we would have to do with 3 cards only. So with that, to have any chance, we would need to play this as our element. And this can't power anything besides itself, so we would have to fuse. And once we're fusing, we are getting range damage anyway. So I do think we just make it a full victory with blue 11. It doesn't have matching armor. And the range damage just hits us, which takes 3 damage. If we downgrade any of those, we will lose the shield ability. So they will become black again. But I don't think that's a good reason to downgrade, for example, this one here. And 3 damage means the Rain of Blood alone does not help. We can't downgrade this alone. And with the 5 XP, we could actually upgrade this to level 4. If we get it for the final journey, that would be appreciated. Red 9 movement is good. And 2 more shield basically against Rodving would also be appreciated. The same goes for this actually, but this is just a destruction card. It would be a 9 attack unless we are playing 2 red, which I usually don't see. And the boosts are just bad. So yeah, I'm not downgrading this. It would lose 3 damage, 2 shield. So what's the point? That's going down from 4 to 1 shield. That's a bit bad. And it's the same here. Okay, so maybe I do downgrade this. I don't know. Yeah, let's go with what I was talking about, that we go with more level 3s instead of downgrading to 2. Which does mean we have to downgrade this, unfortunately. I'm not upgrading this. And the nice thing is that we do have red shields now. We can even upgrade 1 card. And what would I rather have? This in the attack phase. So I can soak 2 more damage. And even if I hit the armor, it's still a 9 attack. Or this, but then I would hope to get it not in the attack phase. Because in the attack phase, this is completely bullshit. It's just 3. It's initiative 3. It's really bad. So I think I'm upgrading this. Going with a high damage card here. With a high shield. Alright, so we won't have another turn, obviously, which ends the region phase, and we are facing Rodving. Let's flip that. Let's go with the final battle here. Let's have a final glimpse at our deck. So we are at 4, 3, 2, 3. So a lot of net positive. 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. So there's not a single level 1 card. Lots of 4s, lots of 3s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards at level 4. No, 5? 4. Okay. Only 4 cards at level 4. The destruction. Then a blue. Actually, I had 1 tucked behind another card, so it's 5. So a red attack, a blue attack, a purple attack, and an adept, another purple. And 1 movement card on level 4, but a lot of level 3s. That should give us a lot of confidence for the final fight. But let's see how well we shuffle and if the 7 cards of the journey are the ones we want. Alright, so the 7 cards are Fleet-footed, a movement card. Then a level 3 attack card. Then a level 2 red attack card. That's probably good. The Burning Bridges, which is nice to see now. Another movement card. A level 4 attack card, that's sad. And another movement card. I do not think regrouping is the right choice. We will lose the Fleet-footed once we get our time penalty. Let's put it here again. The face card you will lose anyway, because the lowest time penalty is 1, so there's no harm in seeing that. Alright, let's try to get 28 movement. And we should probably use the Burning Bridges then, even though it's just 7. Well, actually depends on the boosts we have. And the best movement card is this one, and we would already need to fuse for this. So that's maybe not a good start. But then again, the only movement cards we have are 6, 7, 11, and an 8. And we do not even have a single yellow element. And this card at least does not have a good boost to speak of anyway. So there would not be a waste in using this to fuse. Which does mean the 7 red is irrelevant. These are the best boosts we have. Besides the 4 here, but this is on an 11 movement card. Which does mean I probably just power the red and fuse me a yellow. So we do have a red movement, but it's irrelevant because we do not have a reserve card left. But now we have a yellow element and a red element. We do have 18 movement like this and 9 like this, which is 27. So red 7, 11, yellow 11, 16. It's 27. It's 1 point shy of the 3rd tier. What else can we do? So these are good boost cards, which are not movement by themselves. So this 6 is worse than with the ones we have already. 6 movement doesn't help us at all. And the boost is nothing good. This is a good boost, but it would, if we use this as a boost, well, we would not use any of those, and those are not movement cards. So there's an 8, which is 1 more, but we do not have the element for this. Yeah, I don't think there's a way around that, so we will lose 2 cards, unfortunately, but we do get through the journey. We do lose the Fleet-footed, as already alluded to, and we do lose a really good boost card. That's unfortunate. Okay, but what can you do? I feel like we should have a lot of attacks still in the deck. So these should be 7 cards. River Swiftness, Sword of Light, an Adept, and then the Destruction, a Rain of Blood, a Frostfire Wall, and another Adept. So I think these are the best battle cards we have. And this goes down to 9 as said, unless I'm using this too, but why would I? So 9 is worse than 10. So we should at least use this one. There's a high initiative, not really that good boost that could power this. So there's no difference in powering any of these, but those would both result in 9. We do not have purple element to power this, but we do have red. So we can use this boost here. This is really okay that we are not using this. So what would we end up with? So we have blue and red to power those. That's 23. With a boost of 7, it's 30. But we are losing 4 armor, is 26, and we are again one shy of the second tier. Alright, so using this as an element card because of its nice boost is really bad. So we should really use that here, and then we have the chance to just fuse those to get the right element. Those cards are not really good boost, but this has a really high initiative. But I don't think initiative is a problem here. We can add them up when we are already at 16 initiative and we just need 9. But that would mean that we now have a better boost. So we still have blue, we do have red, that's 23. That's 9, that's 32, but the armor, but we are now at 28, so it's just a better boost, so we do reach the second tier. If we flip those, we are losing 4, which is exactly the armor, so this is a wash, and that's just a better boost. Do we have a replacement for this here? And I don't think we have. Well, we do lose just 2 because the armor will not apply again if we use this instead of this, but then the boost will just be 1 better, and that doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I don't think it gets better than that, but I think that might be an important step to at least have the second tier, but it's just 3 damage as I said, so in the beginning. So we do have to hope that our shields hold up, but I do think, yeah, let's go through it one more time. We fuse this to reach red, this is blue, so the elements work out. The initiative is 16, that's far more than 9, that's okay. So we do have an attack of 10 and 9 because of the armor, that's 19, 4 is 23, 5 is 28, this is the second tier, so we take 24 damage. This blocks 6 damage, which brings it down to 18. This blocks 6 damage, which brings it down to 12. This blocks 5 damage, which brings it down to 7. And at that point we will make it, barely, but I don't think there's any good combination that saves us. This will also only be 6, so we have to downgrade 3 cards. So that's 5 then, 2, and we soaked up all the damage. So we do win, but again, just barely, because we are shy 1 point here, lose another card, and this time we are 3 damage shy of like getting really high. This is a net 0, if I'm just counting the difference to the starting deck on normal. And this is again just 0. Now we are getting into positives, so let's just put them here as also being 0. And then we're having 1, 3, 5 points. Oh, that's also 0. That's another 5 points. So now we are actually at 11. That's a good score. And like a relative score to the starting deck is plus 11. That with a starting deck of 32 points, that would be 43. So I do like the win, but again, it's quite close. And I think the region phase went really well. So I'm not sure if this sounds like consistency to me yet, or what else I can still improve. But I really want to get a streak going. So this is a win, and I will now just play another game right away to try to get a Rodving streak and see if we can beat him consistently on normal. So we do reset the game, back to the Jade Mountains. We are resetting the deck. That should be a really good shuffle, and we start with a Destruction, Burning Bridges, Fleet-Footed, and a Frostfire Wall, and have to battle enemy number 4, which has 13 life and 2 initiative. 13 life is usually nothing you can beat in the beginning, because you do only have boosts of 2. That would mean we would have to have a natural 11 damage, which we can't. So that's really out of the question. The initiative should be not a problem, but these red cards, they really suck at initiative. So if we use those to power, we actually have to spend our boost to not get early damage as well. We would need to soak 3 damage, which pretty much means that we have to take it into this, unless we are downgrading 2 cards again. But the upgrades are not that cheap actually. It's 1, 2, 2, and 2. To have a partial victory, we need 7 damage. This is just movement. This is at least 8 damage right away of an element that works against the 4th enemy because it's purple armor. So we do need a red element, and if we take the Frostfire Wall, we do not have to fix our initiative. But I do think I want to fix my initiative because I do not want to hold on to the Burning Bridges. It's just not a good card. So if you do it like this, the initiative would be 3, so we don't take any early damage. And we would still have an 8 attack of which is red, which is a partial victory. And then we can hold on to the Frostfire Wall. This card doesn't interact with anything, because we do not have purple elements or purple spells. So that's irrelevant for our consideration. And with the 8 XP, we can probably upgrade this twice. Yes, we can. So we do have a nice initiative, nice boost, and a very nice combat card. So I do think I want to do that. So the 3 armor absorbs the 3 purple damage. This goes down to level 1. These we just discard. We don't want to upgrade those anyway. And with the 8 XP we are getting from this enemy, we are upgrading this twice. And we do have a nice level 4 Frostfire Wall now. With the Determined March, Rain of Blood and Adept, we are now going on a journey, which would be 12 yellow. We don't have yellow movement. The only movement we do have is Determined March with 7. It's a time penalty of 2. So we would actually be able to reach 12 if we would have Purple Element, which we do not have. And the fusing we would have to do with these 2 cards, so I can't use it as a boost. Which does mean we can have a complete victory, but since I did not take any time penalty yet, I think I'm okay with this. Which does mean we only need a movement of 6, which could, for example, be the Adept with a boost of 3. That's 3 plus C, that's 6 movement. Because we still only have movement on purple and we don't have an element, and if we fuse, we lose too many cards. Since we do lose the face card anyway, there's no way in considering what we want to keep, and I do think keeping a level 4 Frostfire Wall is okay. I don't want to keep this, because this is the irrelevant card here. These 2 are actually irrelevant, because the red cards do have these bad boosts. And we do need the boost if we don't have the element. Yeah, so I'm doing it like this. That's 6 movement. That's a partial victory. We do get a time penalty, so River Swiftness is gone and another River Swiftness. And we can't upgrade this, but we keep it. And with 5 XP and only 3 XP upgrades available, I will not upgrade this. The Adept might be good, but the Determined March is one of these cards that also has these nice boosts, and I really like those in my deck. So I do upgrade this. Well, this would introduce an ambush. That's something to consider. This does not. And it is a 4 kicker, which is quite flexible. I think that's the reason to upgrade the Adept instead. So this is something you really want to jump over if you upgrade this. Let's see how we did with the hardships, and we do not have any in our discard. I do really like that. So the Frostfire Wall is augmented with the Adept, of course, Motivated Flight and Sword of Light. And we do have to do another journey. We do have some movement at least. And it's the journey 4, which is 10 purple, which is one of the easier ones, which just gives 3 XP. Again, we do not have a purple element to use this movement, so we probably need to use the yellow for this. This is already 8, and this is +2, so this would already do it. There's no hardship, it's just 3 XP, upgrading one of those cards. Do I hold on to this? Because this time we do see the face card that we do keep. But I do think the kicker, initiative, and so on are just too nice to not keep that. We could upgrade the Sword of Light, but just in comparison, it would be a lot worse boost, a lot worse attacks. So yeah, I do think I'll hold on to this card. So that's 10 movement against Journey 4. That's a full victory, which gives us 3 XP. This is already fully upgraded. We could use the Adept or we could use the Sword of Light. Sword of Light again is the initiative card, whereas the Adept also goes to a good boost. I do think I want to go with the Adept rather, but the shields are really bad, but the Sword of Light hasn't like that much of a better shield. So I do think I want to go with the Adept, but it's purple again. That's one of the problems. We are upgrading, or we seem to upgrade a lot of cards that are powered with purple. So this Adept, actually there are no upgraded cards because we kept them all the time. So this is actually not a good reason to not upgrade this. So okay, let's do this. It's an Adept then. These go to the discard. We do keep the Fleet-footed, Frostfire Wall, Brute Force, and Rain of Blood means we have to fight against the second enemy, which has initiative 4 and 11 life. Initiative is not a problem unless we need the Brute Force. 11 life with red as a defense doesn't seem to be a big deal. For example, this would be 5 initiative, 10 damage, plus 3. At that point it doesn't matter too much, I think. So the initiative prevents the early damage, and that's enough damage to kill it. It's 7 XP. We can't upgrade this. This is already fully upgraded. I don't think... Actually, we can upgrade both of them twice, or this and one of those. But this is just a very high armor card. This is not. So I think sticking with the theme of upgrading not one card to 4, but 2 to 3, I should spread this out. Let's see, I left a sort of light here, so that might have been a mistake with the night hardship, otherwise we don't have any. So upgrading this I think is a given because there's a storm. So we have 4 XP left. If we upgrade this, do we upgrade into a hardship? No, we don't. Well, actually, then we should probably spread it out like this. All right, so that's region 1. This went again quite well. Let's flip this into the living marches. Should be enough. So let's see. We start with the destruction, upgraded adept, upgraded fleet-footed, and determined march. So it panned out that we do have 2 upgraded cards. They are so much better than the level 2s. And we do fight the enemy number 1 without any additional hardship, which is ranged, 9 damage, 6 initiative. We do have a 6 initiative card, and we could power this. So the +2 would actually be enough, and we would have to discard the reserve card. That's a problem. It costs us a card, but it prevents the damage. Damage would be 2, so 1 downgrade. I think it's worth it, which does mean we cannot hold on to all the cards and we can't upgrade the one we discard. But let's rehash that we can actually win this. So 6 initiative, discarding this. Purple gives us 7, actually it has purple armor. So 9 is not enough, so we do have to do it like this. Still 6 initiative, discarding this. 7, 10 with 1 purple armor, it's 9. Which gives us a full victory. We can't upgrade this then, but I'm actually fine with this because we need to discard this for the ranged because it's a red attack card anyway. Then we can spend 5 XP. This is too expensive. This again does not have the highest armor value, but it does have nice values beside that. But I do think the adept might, well actually I do want to spread it out, but that would upgrade into an ambush. So this is probably why I didn't upgrade it last time. But this would upgrade into hazardous. Alright, so that's a problem. You have to decide what's the lesser evil. So enemy 2, well ambush is really bad. Early damage is doubled, whereas hazardous just means a time penalty. I think that's better. Yeah, so we are using 4 XP to upgrade the adept to level 4, but we have to discard all the cards anyway. So we already suffered, so to speak, 1 time damage. A 1 time penalty. Burning bridges, sort of light, river swiftness, and a downgraded fleet-footed. That's not good. That's a basic hand without any upgrades. And we do have to do a journey. 11 yellow. We do have a lot of movement, but no boosts to speak of, so there's no way we are reaching 11. If we do it with this, we can get up to 2 boosts. That would still be 9. So I don't think we can do that. That's 3 time penalty. We will lose a turn, but it's still 5 XP. So maybe we just take the hit. With the idea of not getting damaged, because if we divert, what's the best we can hope for? And with such a shitty hand, I think I'd rather take the hit on the turn, use the 5 XP to upgrade, and call it a day. We do need a partial victory, that's 6 movement. We can't power this, we can power this. That's already 6, so we can hold on to whatever we like. Blue, 6 movement. This is something we should probably upgrade to get rid of the knight. I'm tempted to upgrade these 2. But this would bring back this night hardship here. So it would be a wash. But we can't upgrade both because it's just 5 XP and would need 6. I do not really want to hold on to this, but maybe in this case it's better because, well, actually we do get time penalty, so it doesn't matter. What do I want to upgrade? So the Sword of Light is the initiative card again, so I'm not that fond of it. The rest is movement. Burning Bridges would give us the red shield. No hardship, but 4 would mean that we would not upgrade 2 cards. If you want to upgrade 2 cards, it should be this one, which brings back the night hardship, so we should at least get rid of this, I guess. This has nice armor, and all other values are also good, and we would still be at 1 night hardship. Yeah, let's do that. We are taking 3 time penalty, unfortunately, so this is gone, Frost Firewall and Brute Force is gone, so 2, 3, and 2 from the levels. But we do have 6 movement, that's a partial victory. And we do get our 5 XP, so I will upgrade Fleetfoot even though it's a night hardship, but then get rid of this night hardship. I think that's what I want to do. We then draw the Adept, Rain of Blood to Frost Firewall, and we do have our 3rd turn, but that's it then. And we do have to do another journey. This time it's a red 10, which is okay, I think. The only movements we have are these 2, but we do have the red element, so we can power the Burning Bridges. Which does mean we get both boosts, so we barely make it to 10. We don't have this element, but we could fuse, but then we wouldn't have enough boost. So I think using this as a boost, this for movement is okay. It works out like that. It's 5, 9, 10. And we do only need 10. Actually, it's treacherous. If you fail to attain complete victory, suffer 1 damage, which we are not. And there's no additional hardship from this. Okay, so it does work out. We just complete it, get 4 XP. We can upgrade something else. I do not want to upgrade this. This is already on max level. So should we go, actually, if we upgrade this, we can do that. But it's already a good card. I think the biggest jump is to level 3. But again, the Burning Bridges jump is not that good. But I do think I want to stick with the idea on having more level 3 cards. So let's go for this. So for 4 XP, which we exactly have, we're upgrading this. And that's region 2. So again, we are moving on to the Burning Basin. Let's have a quick look at the deck. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 is a good chunk of upgrading. 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. Well, it's almost neutral. 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so there's a fair amount of upgrades. We don't have any level 1s. That's good. And hardship-wise, we do have the Knight hardship back. A Hazardous, which we decided for, to have a level 4 Adept in the deck. And no other hardships. I think that's good, because they can really screw you over. And controlling these is probably the way to better consistency. So that should be enough. We are starting with Brute Force, Motivated Flight, River Swiftness, and Rain of Blood. So again, a base set of cards that's not so good. But Fleet-Footed gives us a level 1 journey, which is 14 blue, which is also steep. So the movement point goal is increased by the reserve card's boost. So if we can make this our reserve card, it's at least just +1, but it would still mean 15. But the base cards are nowhere suited to reach such heights. So the best boost we currently have is 3. The best movement we have is 8. Not considering anything else, it's only 11, so we are far off. So we do need 7 for a partial victory. If we do keep one of these cards, it's 15 or 16, doesn't matter too much. We should not use this as a reserve, obviously, which is then 8 movement. But we can reach 8 movement, for example, like this. That would be even 11, but it's 15 that we need. I do not really want to hold on to this card. So what else can we do? Maybe bring it up to 6, 7, but then we can't reach 8. We need 8 no matter what, unless we are fusing, and we can't even fuse. We could divert, but I don't think that's good because it's just a time penalty of 2 and it's 7 XP. That's enough. We are not getting damaged and we're not losing a turn yet. So this would be 8 in itself, but then again 3 would bring it up to 17 and we would need 9 movement, which we can achieve actually. So this would be yellow 8, 9 against a journey with 17 goal, and that's more than 50%. It's a partial victory. We can hold on to Brute Force, which is powered by Fleet-Footed, but we do get time penalties, so what am I even talking about? But I'd rather hold on to a card like this, which can upgrade to at least a nice boost, and it's a flexible card. So at least better than this one. So is this even upgradable twice? It is. Okay, so I do think we want to do it like this. Steep means MP increased by this, 17, we need 9, that's 8, 9, so it works out. I don't want to upgrade this. These are movement cards, but we could again spread it out, so let's upgrade this once. There's no hardship, that's good, and I think it's a good card already. And this costs us 3 XP from our 7, so we have 4 left, which doesn't mean we can upgrade either of those. Motivated Flight is a really solid armor, at least on level 4. But if we upgrade this now, we introduce a Knight hardship again. That's also solid armor, and there's a Storm on level 4, which if we upgrade this in the final round, it doesn't matter. But the upgrade now doesn't have any of these problems. So I think we upgrade this to the 5 shield side, 8 initiative. That sounds good. To avoid the hardship again, that's the reason why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would probably upgrade this. But then again, the boost is actually not that good at level 3. All right, so we take it like this. That's the 7 XP, 4 here, 3 there. But we do get the 2 time penalty. So in addition to the 3 cards, we discard a Destruction and the Fleet-Footed. We are still on track for 4 turns, and we get a level 4 Adept, level 2 Fleet-Footed, level 2 Determined March. But 2 upgrade cards should be good. So enemy number 1 is 17 health, 5 initiative. There's no 2-digit number, no native one, and the biggest boost is 5, so there's no way we can reach 17. So the goal should be 5 initiative, which we can reach with this, but there's nothing yellow to power, or we use a boost. And the damage we need is probably avoiding purple. We need 9 damage. There's no way to avoid purple, unfortunately. So that's just movement. We could use this to attack with a good boost. And then we are free in our choice of the initiative cards. So maybe this works out. That would mean that we do have initiative of 5 to avoid the early damage. And then just have 4 plus 4 attack. That's 8. But we do need 9, unfortunately. So we do need this. Again, 5 initiative avoids the early damage. 4 damage, which does not get blocked by armor, plus 5 is 9. 9 is a partial victory. Alright, that should do it. We could hold on to a brute force then, which doesn't interact at all with this. But unfortunately we do need the boost here. If we just use this as our attack, that's already 6 because it's an adept card. Now we only need 3, but we could make it like this. So this works out as well. Using these non-powered versions really allows you to use the right initiative without using the element. So this avoids early damage. It's 6 attack. It's actually 10 now. That works out, and we can hold on to determined march, which at least allows us to power this adept. I think I like that. Now we have to soak up 3 damage, which is not a problem because all the cards actually do have 3 armor or are purple. So we really have to just think about what we want to get rid of. We could downgrade this to avoid the knight, but we could also get the adept back to 3, which avoids the hardship here, so the hazardous. We do get 9 XP, so we should take this also into consideration. Upgrading this twice takes 8 XP, so that's almost all XP we got. And it's a really nice card. But do we want to spread it out more? Actually, let's just downgrade this. It's not that important card. We are going a bit for more polarization, but I think the goal has to be to avoid level 2 cards because they are specifically bad. It means that you did not soak damage with them to just get them to level 1, which almost makes no difference. And the threshold to 3, I think, is the more important one. So we could get this down to 3 and the other cards up, but I feel like I should take this to soak, then upgrade this for 3. Upgrade this for 5 and hold on to this. And these cards are already like well suited, and we do keep the hazardous, but I don't think it's a big deal. So we draw the adept, Sword of Light, and the Burning Bridges, and we do have to do a journey 1 again, which is a high XP journey, but it's 14 blue, which is steep again. Steep meaning that we have to increase the MP with the boost of our reserve card. But let's see, we do not have the purple, which is the highest movement we have. Starting with 7 will get us nowhere. So let's see, if we fuse, we circumvent the problem with the steepness, and then we would have a movement of 15. So purple, 12, 3 is 15. Steepness doesn't do anything if we don't have a reserve card. That would mean we discard 1 more card, and unfortunately we already paid a time penalty, it seems. So 2 turns and the additional 2. So if we fuse now, we lose our last turn. Otherwise, there would be enough cards to play the 4th turn. But then again, if we do not attain full victory, we will have a time penalty anyway. So unless we are diverting, I don't see this being better. And I do think we just make it a total victory and just take the 7 XP and call it a day. And there's no way to produce more movement than we already did. So we can just upgrade with 7 now. This is already max level. Yeah, this is the initiative card that doesn't profit too much from upgrading. We can upgrade just 1 card anyway. Unfortunately, this doesn't gain anything as well. It's already quite good on level 3. So I'm tempted to do the Burning Bridges again, because it is a 3 armor, but the other values are just so bad. But it's a red movement against Rodving. Why not? Okay, so we did play everything, and that's the problem, which does mean that if we are drawing now, we do not have a face card left. So this ends the region, and we should be really in the positive now. All these cards are all level 3 or 4. That's really good. This is our sacrifice. We quite consciously downgraded this. None of these cards has any hardship except the hazardous. Then there's 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. Again, net positive, 4, 2, 2, and no hardships. I do like it. I think this strategy might be working. So on to the Forest of Garth again. I really have to take care of shuffling. I almost stumbled here and flipped a card, but I do think should still be fine. Well, I can't remember everything, obviously. But on to the final region now. Split a deck somewhere, and let's go. Rain of Blood, River Swiftness, none of them upgraded. Fleet-footed, finally an upgraded card and a destruction, so that's not a good start. We need to do Journey 3, which is 12 red. We do have 11 movement here, that's good. If we power this with Rain of Blood's element, and then any boost will probably do. No hardship, no modifiers, so it's just 12. So we can think about what we want to hold on to. And it's probably the River Swiftness because it can be powered by the Sword of Light. 5 XP could allow us to upgrade this. And unfortunately, it's not jumping in its boost, but it is jumping in the armor, quite a huge jump, and a good jump in initiative. I think we still want to do that, so let's see. Yellow 11, 13. Journey 3 is 12, so it's a full victory, no time penalty, 5 XP. This we don't want to upgrade, this we don't want to upgrade, this we can't upgrade, so it's really the river swiftness, and we just go on with the Sword of Light, level 3 adapt, level 3 frost firewall. So lots of upgraded cards. Enemy 4, it's in 17 armor, 7 initiative. We do have good initiative values. If we use any dose as our element, the initiative is already taken care of. What's the highest we can do? Unfortunately, the numbers are not really that good. Yeah, there's no way. So the highest attacks we have are 7, and the highest boost we have are 4, so it's 11, there's nowhere near. We do need 9 damage with 7 initiative, and we should avoid blue and purple. That pretty much leaves this. Well, the purple at least would be 7. With a boost of 4, that's 11. 2 armor, that's still 9. So it could still work out, and we would have initiative of 8. So let's see. Initiative of 8 prevents the early damage. Then we do have the right element for 7 purple attack, but with an armor of 2, that's 5. Plus 4 is 9, and that's half of 17. We would then hold on to a Sword of Light that doesn't interact with Burning Bridges, but again, I don't like that card, at least not against Rodving. But I don't see how it becomes better for other dragons. We do get 9 XP, that's quite nice, but we do have to soak 5 damage, blue damage, so we could downgrade this. But Frost Firewall is a card that does make a good jump. It's 2 more boost, 2 more armor, that's just such a nice card. The River Swiftness, on the other hand, is just a jump of, well, the armor is a huge jump. That would also be bad, but we do have to soak that damage somewhere. Those won't soak it on themselves, so yeah. But what about level 4? So this stays at 5. This goes even higher with 6. It's a good attack. That's a movement card. So I do think I want this in the battle anyway, and it will just have a better armor. So we are soaking with this. The 5 damage is taken care of. And with the 9 XP, we are upgrading this to level 4 to get the 6 shield and a good attack. This costs us 4, so we have 5 left. And this could mean either the Sword of Light with the same argument that we do have a good attack then for the final fight. But it's just 1 armor. The armor doesn't change here at all. Yeah, I do think, especially with the argument that I'm using that now for the next hand, I'm upgrading the Sword of Light. Burning Bridges, Motivated Flight, and a Determined March. So this is a good hand with 4-4-2-4, but the downside I've learned is that you can upgrade only 1 card. So no matter what you do, even if you get a lot of XP, you are limited in what you can actually do. But it does give a lot of armor, so if we can come up with 7 XP, that would be good. But the second enemy is just 5 XP. It is a ranged enemy with 9 life, 10 initiative. So there's our 10 initiative, that's cool. But the rest is movement cards, so that's not good. And since we cannot power this, and we can't reach 10 initiative without the boost, we might as well fuse. We haven't lost any cards yet. But then again, if we are giving up early damage, the initiative is irrelevant, so we can come up with 9 damage however we want to do that. So we can take a regular attack, so even this one, so this would already be 9 damage. So you should really think about what to hold on to. For example, the Determined March, that can be powered with the Rain of Blood. And then we take the Sword of Light as our spell. With the +3, it's 9. And this is our useless element. We would then not reach the initiative, and we can't prevent the ranged attack anyway, and we would take early damage, which is 3 red damage. And then with the spell of Sword of Light and the boost of Burning Bridges, we would have 9 attack that just kills it. Because the attack is colorless, it does prevent, or it circumvents the armor. Which does mean 5 XP, and we can only upgrade this anyway. And we have to downgrade something by 3 red damage. And this would mean either of these cards, I think. And I feel like the Burning Bridges are okay at level 3, because downgrading this would be a bad idea, I think. So this was the downgrade, this is already upgraded. So the Motivated Flight goes to level 3. And we draw Rain of Blood, Brute Force, and Adept. Again, some upgrade cards, that's good. Journey 4 is 11 yellow, which is steep again. So the MP value is increased by the reserve cards boost. We only have purple movement. We do have a purple element. Problem is that we do have a lot of boost here. So we should probably use the 12 movement here, +5. So violet 12 +5 is 17. But the goal is then 11 +4 is 15, but we still make it. That's 5 XP. Again, this is already max level. This is already max level. I don't want to upgrade a red attack, which brings the brute force to level 4. And I don't think we have a last turn. No, we don't. That's the end of the region then. And we are facing Rodving. Let's swap that and let's go for the final battle. Looking at our deck, we have 4-3 and the sacrifice we consciously took 4-2, 4-4, 3-4. That's a really upgraded deck. We do have an attack of 10, attack of 11, movement 12, an adept card, another attack. If the attacks are not red, they are not going beyond 10 or 11 anyway. So I think we made our best to at least get good attack cards. There are some movement cards that are really good even though they are not level 4. Yeah, we do have all the red attack cards on level 2 still. But we at least have the red shield here on the burning bridges. But we should have 4 solid cards for both moving and attacking and the adept. Let's see how this is being split into our sets of 7 cards. Alright, it should be enough shuffling. Let's see what the 7 cards are. So a good movement card, a good attack card, then a blank, so to speak, another blank, another movement card, good, another attack card, it's not good, and another movement card. Okay, and the top card that we will lose is the level 1, which I do love, so I should probably not regroup. And I think without the adept and 2 battle cards still to come, that has to do. Let's see how much movement we can actually come up with. The best ones would be 12 and 11. But again, we do not have the yellow element, but we can fuse because there's no red movement anyway. So let's try to make 2 action sets with these. This is a pitiful boost anyway, so we can use this as our element, actually for this one. So if we fuse anything, that has to be these, but these are the best boosts we have. That's not good. Yeah, unfortunately, we can only fuse with blue, which are the good boosts, or with purple, but we wanted to play these 2 cards for their movement. So maybe you have to sacrifice 1 movement point to get another purple card that we can use in fusing. And at that point, it doesn't matter, I think, how we arrange that. It's just the elements that we need. So this gives us yellow, this gives us purple. That would be 22 movement with a boost of 9, which is 31. That's more than enough, I think. At that point, we do not even need to optimize this. So let's check again. So we are fusing these for yellow. It's 10, it's 15. And we need 14% to reach it. And that's purple, 12 plus 4, it's 16. Again, it's more than 14, so we completely aced the journey. And we are losing just 1 card, which is the fleet-footed, which I love. Alright, so we will have 8 cards, I think for the first time actually, since I'm playing on camera, for the dragon. And maybe this makes me quite hopeful that we can actually kill him this time and just get 15 damage. That would be so nice. So the 8 cards are Destruction, which is a blank. The Burning Bridges, which is good for soaking, but otherwise a blank. Then there's an attack card, a blank. The Adept, let's see. And then a weaker Adept, which I should probably put to the blanks. Then another attack card and another blank. Well, the Adept here is actually a good boost. And the Adept here is also a nice boost, so we should probably try to make it like this. Which does mean we need a blue element, but it has a very bad initiative. But we do have an 8 here, and we can actually fuse this into purple. Because I don't think we have another purple. So if you want to use this attack, there's no purple element, we have to fuse anyway. And this card we would not even need. So let's see, the initiative would be 9, which is fine, so we avoid the early damage. Then we have the purple element by fusing on the blue element, which gives us 21 damage. We are avoiding red with a boost of 9, that's 30. It's not 32, unfortunately. So is there any way to optimize this? I don't think Burning Bridges plays any role here, because the initiative and the boost and everything is just awful. We do have the best boost cards already, except for Brute Force. Well, these would both give us 1 point, but if we swap them out, we are losing far too much damage. This is just red damage, that's red damage. Here's a 9, but again, it's a good boost anyway. And these are the best attacks that we have. Just looking at the numbers, these are the best 2 attack cards. We could power them both, and these are the best boosts that we have, except one that's actually one of our best attack cards. I don't think we can get to a 32. I'm not sure how you would even achieve that. And this difference obviously is quite a lot of points, because it's at least like 4 cards that you have to downgrade for 9 damage, I would assume. Assuming that the bulk of the damage you already soaked up with the best damage mitigation cards that you have. So yeah, I think we do still have purple 15, blue 15 at 30. That's good, but it's not the last tier. So it's 24 damage that we have to soak. Let's soak 4 with the Burning Bridges. So we are down to 20. 5 brings it down to 15. 6 brings it down to 9. And at that point, we just take 3 armor 3 cards, I think. So an adept, another adept, and a brute force. And we have 3 armor to spare, which does mean we would even have 1 without making so much damage. But we are nowhere near doing 32 damage. But I'm contented we won, to be honest. So that's a second win in our streak, so to speak. Then let's see how we do point-wise. So these are the blanks. These are 3 points, more blanks. So this cancels out a 3. So that's 4 points and another 6 points. That's 10 points. That's actually not bad. So I'm still calculating relative score to the normal starting deck of 32 points. So these are all +2, these are all +1. So that's 10 plus points, which would bring us to 42 if you want to count the starting deck levels as well. That's the second win in a streak. That's nice. Let's try for a third time. So back to the Jade Mountains. We have reset the deck. Even though I'm not playing in hand, I can see that the cards are now deteriorating quickly. I do think the BGG poll of how the cards do after 4 plays is a bit premature. I think 4 plays, 5 plays, the cards can hold up quite well. But once the color starts stripping from the edges, the color distributes over the cards and the card edges, and it's rubbing over each other. And then the foil pretty quickly starts to deteriorate and the cards are getting more and more sticky. So I think that's a self-accelerating process, and you should really have played 10 games before you can judge this, or maybe at least 6 or so. 6 to 10, I would say. Okay, but let's reset the deck to level 2, so it's normal. Alright, so Jade Mountains with Destruction, Sword of Light, Rain of Blood and River Swiftness. And you would have to fight the enemy 3, which, judging from the XP, is the second to last when it comes to power. It's 9 life, 6 initiative. We do have 6 initiative at least. But if you want to fight it, we do need damage. So that would be red or yellow. We don't have a red element. So if we start with the yellow, that's just 6. And we don't have a boost of 3. So we can't defeat it with yellow damage. And we would not avoid the early damage as well. So this does not cut it, obviously. So we should probably fuse to power one of these cards. Fusing we can only do with these 2, so we keep our nice initiative. So that's 6 initiative. To power 8 damage plus 2 is 10 red, and this sounds like a complete victory without early damage. We do lose a card, but I think that's a fair price to pay. So 6 initiative, fusing a red element, that's 10 red damage, full victory, which means we discard everything but get 5 XP. So from these cards I usually do not want to upgrade them. I don't still see why I would ever do that against Rodving, which leaves the River Swiftness, which is a high armor card, good boost, or the Sword of Light, which is the initiative card. So I do think, let's see, what about the hardships? Yeah, we do have a hardship here with the Sword of Light. So with 3 XP we can get rid of this, and this would introduce a storm, so I am, for this reason, wasting 1 XP and upgrading the Sword of Light to 3. And that's it for the first hand. So unfortunately we're drawing 4 cards now, and we do need to do a journey 4, which is the easiest, it seems, or one of the easier ones. So it's 10 purple for 3 XP. We do have purple movement, but we also have yellow that's already close to enough. But we don't have the yellow element, so we should probably boost this for 7. And then we get both boosts anyway. And at that point, I'm usually not holding on to Burning Bridges, but I'd rather take one of the flexible cards. So let's see, that's 7 purple with both boosts. Brings it up to 12. We get 3 XP. I'm upgrading the Brute Force. Unless I'm upgrading into a hardship. No, I don't. These cards don't have any. So yeah, I'm happy to upgrade the card I'm keeping, and it's one of the flexible ones. So that's the second turn. Frostwall, Adept and Fleet-Footed. Another journey. 11 red for 4 XP. We again do not have the yellow element to boost this card unless we are fusing. We do also not have purple for this. Well, we do have the yellow element but on the same card, but we do not have purple at all. And the rest doesn't give movement unless we are using this to move. But we need to come up to 11 and we don't have any way near this good of boost. So I do think we want to fuse then, which does mean we have to take the only 2 elements that are actually matching. For a movement of 9 plus 4, that's 13. We do only need 11, so that's 4 XP. And it's the second card we discard, so we still have 4 turns, but we can't take any further fuse penalty or time penalty from a journey. But with yellow 9, 13, third journey 11 red, we have a full victory. That's 4 XP. Again, we have to discard them anyway. And I do want to get rid of the knight hardship. But the other cards are also good targets to upgrade. But I do like me getting rid of the hardships. And going from a boost 2 to 4 is really nice. So let's do that. So let's see. We have Motivated Flight, Frost, Firewall, River, Swiftness. One card left in the deck for a final turn, which is the 4th enemy, which is the one that is the hardest. But it gives 8 XP. So 13 life. Yeah, we are not reaching that with boosts of 2 and an attack of 8. But a 2 initiative, every card will fulfill that. So we have to go for a partial victory and soak 3 damage. That's unfortunate. That's 2 cards. These are all 1 XP to upgrade again. So you're probably downgrading 2 of those. But let's first reach 7 damage that we need, which are not purple. But it's just 8 damage here, and at that point it doesn't matter what we do. We can't upgrade the last card in the deck anyway. There's no hardship here associated with the enemy, so we take 3 damage. Downgrade 2 cards, probably those. I think I will downgrade a Rain of Blood again, because against Rodving the red attack is not that good. That's 2 damage soaked. We do get 8 XP. Frost Firewall has this really nice armor, so it's something I do want to upgrade, as I do not downgrade this. And I'm upgrading at least once for 3. It's not upgrading into a hardship, so we have 5 XP left. Yeah, and I feel like I should upgrade another card, even though it's not making a big jump, but at least it's an initiative jump and a good armor, so it will soak damage for us. So we'll upgrade this too, and then the final downgrade will be the Motivated Flight, unfortunately. But at least it also takes just 1 XP to upgrade again. And we did not do any mistakes with hardships, so that's the first region. And actually we do not have a single hardship in the whole deck, which does mean the next region will be much easier. So let's continue to the Living Marches. Let's hope we are not stumbling into too many level 1 cards at the same time. There's a Brute Force upgraded, Frost Wall, Frost Firewall upgraded, and the Burning Bridges. So at least 2 upgrade cards, that's good. Enemy 1 is the ranged one, with not that good of XP, should mean it's easier. So 9 life, 6 initiative, that's the only 6 initiative we have. There's a 9 life, but we only have blue and red element, but not much damage to speak of. Actually, if we start with the 6 XP and the 5 damage, with +4, it's actually 9, and we could discard this to avoid the early damage. I think that might be it. We are losing a card, but we are not downgrading then, which I do like. So that would mean 6 initiative, discarding Burning Bridges to avoid ranged. So we are not taking early damage. And then we do have a blue element for 5 blue. This does not have blue armor, +4 is 9, and it's a full victory. We do get 5 XP, but we do not retain any cards. There is a reason to upgrade this, because it would spread the level 3s out much more, and it does upgrade to +4. I do think even though it wastes 1 XP, I really want to do that and try that out. These wouldn't have hardships if we upgrade right away, but I do think I want to stick with this spreading out strategy. They are all level 3 now, but we did lose a card due to the ranged enemy. Destruction, Rain of Blood, Adept, and Fleet-footed, all level 2, that's not good. And we are fighting level 4 enemy, which does have freeze, 13 life, 5 initiative, but gives 7 XP. Let's see if we do not prevent the early damage, he will freeze us and we have to discard a reserve. And we can't reach 13 damage, I think, because we do not have good boosts with starting cards. As I said, it's 11 is maximum. So let's be content with 7 damage, but 5 initiative. And the damage must not be blue. So this is our initiative. Unless we want to boost it and just use red, then we could use the Adept to power any of the Rain of Blood or Destruction. Take the other one as a boost, so that would, for example, be 8 red, which is enough due to the element. And we do have 5 initiative, so that would be an action set that works. And this can actually power itself. That's so nice. I think that's good. Otherwise, we would just use this as initiative and then, for example, power this and just bump the damage up to 7. It would also work, but I do like to keep this card because it is really good synergy with the next hand. Unfortunately, it would take 3 damage, and that's the only card that can actually take it. And do I want to not downgrade this? Actually, I think I want to do that, yes. So we are not taking early damage because of the 5 initiative, and so we are not frozen. And then we do a partial, or we attain a partial victory by getting up to 8 damage. The boost we used on the initiative. So we take 3 damage, and I do think I want to downgrade these cards, which are red attack cards anyway. which allows me with 7 XP to upgrade the Adept and Fleet-footed. And I haven't checked again the hardships. Oh, that's so bad, yeah. If we downgrade the red cards, we are downgrading into hazardous. But it's a time penalty. It's a chance I'm willing to take. It's working well with avoiding hardships, but it's just too good to upgrade the card I'm keeping and an Adept and downgrade the cards I don't want anyway. And hazardous, I feel, is a hardship that you can manage. It's just a time penalty. If you are fighting against enemies, you usually just get some upgrades, but no time penalty. So this introduced time penalty to the regular battles. But one time penalty you can actually like live with, I think. All right, so the Adept we have to discard as well. This was our element card with the initiative. So I do love that we have this combination here, a level 1 motivated flight and level 3 river swiftness. So that sounds good. And we are fighting again the 4th enemy. But we do have a better hand now, I feel, I hope at least. But it's just movement, 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 and just the Adept that can actually fight. But is this relevant? Maybe not. If we make it like this, we would at least have the initiative to not take early damage and not be frozen again. We would get 5 purple damage, which is bumped up to 8, which is enough for a partial victory. So we would take 3 damage again and get 7 XP again. I think that has to do. But this time we are not downgrading 2 cards, obviously. I do want to upgrade this again. So that would be 1 XP with 6 left. Sounds like we would upgrade these 2 to level 3, which means that we can upgrade either of those and it will be fine. So this would lose us just 1 boost. And that's actually a far worse downgrade because it's going down to +2 from +4. I think I will downgrade the river swiftness. So we upgrade this 40 armor. So we are dropping down to 2. That's the problem with this card. But at least it's not introducing a hardship. And we are using the 6 remaining XP, I already spent 1, to upgrade this again, which introduces a night hardship. But we are keeping the card. Let's upgrade this first. This does not introduce a hardship. Yeah, I think we have to keep it like this and just upgrade this and see if we can avoid this by upgrading it again. But we do get our last turn then with 2 cards in the deck because we played 1 ranged enemy, I think. And this will be a journey against 9 purple with steep. So the boost of the reserve card increases the MP value, but it should not be a problem. We could make it a purple journey right away. So that's 7 and we get both boosts, but this boost like then cancels out because of the steep, because we get it because it's the right element, but it also increases the target. So let's just keep that out. And it would be a 7 + 3 is 10 and it's more than enough to have a full victory. And since we do have 2 cards, actually taking 2 time penalty would not be a problem anyway. And we are getting 4 XP, which allows us to upgrade exactly 1 card. And I do think I want to go for level 4 just to avoid the hardship of night, which does upgrade a 3 kicker into 5, which is really nice, and a 5 shield. I thought I do like that. There's an argument to be had to upgrade any of these 2, but this introduces ambush and this introduces storm, so actually this is probably good to avoid. And this ends the region 2, the Living Marches. So we are back to the Burning Basin, and a quick glance at the deck shows us that we downgraded a red attack, but we have a 3, a 3, a 4, and 2 3s to counterbalance that. Then another 3. All the red attack cards are already downgraded to level 1, which are hazardous, and more 3. So I think we are on a good track. Alright, so we start off with the Motivated Flight, the level 4 card we just upgrade, level 3 Adept, level 3 Sword of Light, and a level 2. That should give us a strong start into the region. Enemy number 4 is with 5 XP, it's probably the weakest one. It's ranged, 9 health, 7 initiative. So we do have 2 cards that would beat the initiative right away. And we just need 9 damage. Unfortunately, only damage cards we do have are yellow and purple. And the 2 initiative cards that would solve the initiative are blue and red. So that doesn't work out. So I don't think we can achieve a full victory and avoid early damage, because we do have to discard a card to avoid the ranged. And if we can't do 9 damage right away, we need to boost for the full victory anyway. So if we can't boost any of the combat cards with the high initiative cards, we are, I think, out of luck. So let's take the early damage, then we don't need to discard a card, that's also good, and just go for the full victory. That would mean it's yellow, unfortunately, so if we take the yellow element to not fuse, we would need to take a very high boost because of the armor of 2. So yellow 7, 11, armor of 2 brings it down to 9, but it would be a full victory. The initiative is not enough, unfortunately, but we do need the boost for the full victory anyway. So we keep our card, but we take 2 damage. And we could go again for a purposeful level 1 card. We do get 5 XP, that's already upgraded. So we can upgrade either of those and downgrade another one. The River Swiftness has the nice property of getting 5 armor with upgraded and no hardship and a slightly better boost. The Sword of Light is the initiative card again, but the upgrade doesn't do that much. And upgrading Adept actually doesn't do anything besides a slightly better boost and of course being a better generic card. So I do think I want to upgrade this and maybe downgrade the Adept. It sounds like a wash, to be honest, and it probably is. It takes 3 XP to upgrade again. At least it's one of the cheaper cards. So yeah, I think that settles it. So let's downgrade the Adept, upgrade the River Swiftness. Let's keep the level 4 card, but that's the first encounter. Determined March, upgrade Adept and downgrade Destruction. Journey number 1, and we do have a good movement card at least, but we can't power it. Let's see, journey number 1 is 14 blue, which is steep, 2 time penalty. And we didn't take a time penalty yet because we did take the range damage. So no blue movement, and the movement is either 12 or 7. Actually, the 12 we can't achieve because we can't fuse them and we don't have the red element. So it's just 6. And at that point, we are talking about a partial victory anyway. So it's either 7 if we use this to power. But from 7, we do never get to 14, especially not with steep. We would have to fuse those to avoid the steepness. And then we do have a very sad boost. So if we take the 5 with the 7, that's only 12. So yeah, I think a full victory is unachievable. So we have to target 7. With the steepness, well, we could, of course, try to keep a very bad boost. Yeah, I do think if we are not fusing anything, then these 7 are the best we can come up with. And I think we'd have to swap this, otherwise we are just screwed. But it's 12 movement, it's probably overkill, because this just brings it down up to 15. So at that point, I think we could circumvent boosting anything at all by just using 6 movement. Actually, what do we want to hold on to? This could even power the Frostfire Wall, but it's not a card I'm looking forward to upgrading again. And we are taking time penalty anyway. So again, I'm talking about something that doesn't matter. So I probably do want to upgrade this and keep it, which does mean 6 plus 4 is 10 movement. This card is completely irrelevant. And with 10 movement, we could have a partial victory against the journey with 20 movement points. So the plus 3 doesn't matter at all. It's just 17 then. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm taking 2 time penalty. Frostfire Wall and Burning Bridges. But I do get 7 XP. I'm upgrading this once. This is into the ambush, unfortunately, but at least it's a card I'm keeping, and I do want to upgrade this, really. So that's 3 XP. So I have 4 left. I can't upgrade it again, unfortunately. And this feels like a waste. This is already upgraded, so I'm upgrading the Adept to level 4. And let's see if we can upgrade the Determined March again to avoid getting ambushed in region 4. So we paid our price. So I've played 2 turns and have 2 additional cards in the discard pile, so we must avoid any further time penalties. Frostfire Wall, Brute Force, Fleetfoot, so all level 3. That should be strong against enemy number 4, and unfortunately we can't play the last turn then, because we do have to, well, if we are not avoiding the range damage, we can, actually. Okay, let's see. We have 9 damage that we need to attain. That's easy enough, I think. That's like this. And with initiative of 7, which we don't have, where we can use the boost on this, but we would lose a card. I think we are not incentivized to actually block the damage. So let's just make it a partial victory, or like a full victory in a damage phase, but take the early damage. So let's go for 9 damage, which is trivial. To have a last turn and just take the 2 damage. I did want to upgrade this again to avoid the ambush in the last region, so that would be possible with the 5 XP. Meaning that we would have to downgrade any of those cards. The Fleet-Footed has the nice boost. Frostfire Wall has the armor and the boost going for it. Brute Force already has a good boost to start with. It's a flexible card, but let's downgrade this, I think. Yeah, okay, so we do have the... We are taking early damage, but we do have the right element for 9 plus 4, 13 damage. We can think about what card to keep, actually. Would be nice to actually keep this. So let's try that. If we use blue for blue, 7 plus 4 is 11. Initiative is irrelevant if you take early damage anyway. So the damage, the 2 where I will soak with this, with Brute Force, because it's still a good card without hardship. And with the 5 XP, I'm upgrading this to Determined March. These are discarded. And since we did take damage, we should have enough cards for a final turn. So there's a Rain of Blood, another Rain of Blood. River Swiftness, and we do have to do a journey, which is nice because we kept a Determined March. It can be powered with the Rain of Blood, and it's another 14 steep blue. I don't think going for blue at that point is useful. We don't have the element anyway. So I do think we power the determined march for 12, bring it up to 14. Unfortunately, this steep will bring it up to 15, so that's no good. So at that point, I do think we have to fuse, but then we can't come up to 14 because the boosts are lacking. And if we are not getting a full victory, we will take 2 time penalty, and we have only one card in the deck, so we will take another damage, unfortunately. So we have to downgrade something. So if we are using this as a boost, we need another movement. We can't power this, there's no movement here. But a +6 would mean we are at least reaching 12 with both boosts. That would be 14, but with the steep again not, and we can't power without fusing, so I don't think there's a way around that. I think we just accept the 2 time penalty and that we need to downgrade something. We could take a card off the deck, but I don't think that's the play. I do think we have to downgrade this, unfortunately, to upgrade this. Actually, that's probably just a better... No, that's not a better card because of the lack of flexibility. It just doesn't matter too much. If we downgrade this, unfortunately, we will be back to the ambush. So if we downgrade this instead, we will have a level 1 river swiftness. We are giving up on that card, but we do get 7 XP. So 2 XP will bring it down to 5. So we can just upgrade one of those. I'm not sure if it's worth it to just take it out of the deck at that point. I do want to upgrade them anyway, but let's revert it for a second. I could see myself going for 2 level 3s here, downgrading this and live with the ambush, just try to avoid it. Actually, we would introduce a storm as well if we upgrade this. It just doesn't sound like a good idea to just risk this. Do we take any of those out of the deck? It could allow us to upgrade this. Well, if we upgrade it once, we will have a storm, which makes time penalty also damage. I don't think that's a good idea. So I do think I downgrade this after all. Leave this as it is. Take 1 XP to upgrade this. So I have 6 left and there's no way to upgrade this anyway. So it's 5 left and we can upgrade one of those. Let's see what's the better card here. And they are completely equivalent, so it doesn't matter at all. What element are we rather using to power something? Probably purple, but the initiative doesn't change at all. I don't think it matters. I'm upgrading this and that's it. That's region 3. So we are going on to the Force of Garth for a final region. I do think, well, we did decide to go for the ambush. I was just about to say, but that's not true. I think we were talking about this ambush here. So upgrading the Rain of Blood to level 3 actually gave us an ambush. And at that point, I'm not sure I want to do that. What's about the other one? Yeah, actually, it doesn't give us a hardship. So that's a big difference. So we are definitely upgrading the yellow Rain of Blood. Okay, good that we checked. So I was about to say that we, hardship-wise, we are still in control of our deck. So there's a hazardous. But that's pretty much it for the Force of Garth. And that's so nice. Let's see how this goes. River Swiftness, Destruction, Fleet-footed Adept. So a lot of high-level cards and 1 blank. And we do have to fight enemy number 1, which is a poisonous enemy. 13 life, 6 initiative. Purple armor, unfortunately. So the movement doesn't help. So it's the Adept. So that would be the 6 initiative with a 9 damage. But unfortunately it has an armor. And the best boost we have is 3. That would mean we are up to 12. Nowhere near 13, especially due to the armor of 3. So we are back to 9. The poisons really screws us here because it's downgrading 2 cards then. And the 7 XP, I'm not sure that's worth it. I'm tempted to divert. The hazard is already out of the way. This is a good combo anyway, but if we keep this, we can also have this as a movement, this as a kicker. So if I have a journey, I think that's quite good. And if we have to battle something else, we still have the 12, which is not enough against most enemies, but I don't have at least purple armor. And we do still have a good initiative. I think I will just divert. We were losing the 2 cards right away, but we are avoiding downgrading 2 cards. So I'm diverting with this. And we do have to do a journey instead, which is 14 blue, which is treacherous. So we have to get a complete victory. But I just said that if we use this to power the 11 movement and +5, we are at 16 movement. That should be enough. We do have a complete victory, so that's 7 XP. And we can upgrade one of these 2 cards. Let's see, this is not changing armor at all, but it is a really good boost. This is 1 armor. The boost doesn't change that much. I think I will go for the River Swiftness. At that point, the hardships, of course, are irrelevant. Unfortunately, it means that we have spent the 2 cards that we can spend, but we do get a nice upgraded hand, 4-3-3-3, and have to do enemy 3, which is 14 life, 8 initiative, freezing. Problem is that the best we can do is 7 blue attack, but it's enough for a partial victory. So I do think we have to be content with this. Initiative-wise, we would have to use this, and we don't have a red card. So I do think the blue will power, so the one Frostfire wall with blue element will power the other Frostfire wall. That gives us 7 blue. It doesn't have a blue armor, that's a partial victory. And we just take one of these cards to fix the initiative, to bring it up to 10 or even 11. This is blue-purple, so these cards don't interact at all. I do think I want to keep the higher armor, the higher initiative, the higher boost, and just use this here now. So our initiative is 10, we avoid early damage, freezing is irrelevant at that point. And with the blue element we have 7 blue damage, there's a partial victory. We take 4 damage, yellow. Unfortunately this knocks down one of the cards to level 2, but actually the armor does not change, at least not in a relevant way for the final battle. The boost does, but we have to live with something. These are good cards, but for the final battle they're actually not that good, but they do have a good armor value, and I think they're going down 2 each. Yeah, so I do think we will knock down this, which does soak the full damage because it's yellow. And I just realized that this is really perfect because we have this already upgraded and we do get 8 XP, which allows us to upgrade both Frostfire walls, so they are fine for the final battle. And I have 6 armor, this is so good. So that's a really good fight. So we fill up with like a lot of trash and 1 other upgraded card. We have to fight enemy 4 with 9 XP, but it does mean it's a strong enemy. 17 life, 7 initiative, and we would have to soak up 5 damage, which probably would knock down this card, but I think I'm okay with that. I don't think diverting is the right reaction here. Let's see, 17 means we need 9 damage, avoiding blue and purple. So we should probably go for this, but we don't have yellow. Actually, that's a reason to divert. Yeah, there's no way we can up with 9 damage. Actually, if we make it colorless, we can. So this would be 4 and 5 is 9. But to reach the 7 initiative, we need either of those cards. That's bad. This attack, if boosted, will be knocked down to 3, which is really pitiful. And we don't have a 6 boost. We would not even get the XP then. So the only way is to play another attack, which is not this. This doesn't have attacks, so this is up to this. There's no fusing here. So we are stuck with 4, and to achieve victory we need this. A partial victory. But taking 5 damage twice, I don't think that's going to work. So what else can we hope for if we divert? If it's yellow damage twice, we can at least soak this up, but there will also be the chance to poison, but 3 damage will be much easier to take, so I'm tempted to just divert with the river swiftness. If it's a journey, we can fuse with those and at least reach 12. I think I have to try. I'm diverting. So now we have to battle enemy 2. So this is a ranged one. We can't prevent the early damage anyway, so we have to come up with 9 damage. And we have already shown how to do that. It's 4 plus 5, so that's 9. It's a full victory. So we take the early damage, it's just 3. So we can downgrade any of those 2. And we would get 5 XP. So if we knock this down, we will lose 1 armor. And it will just be an okay initiative still. And I do think I want to keep this high boost and high shield here. So we are knocking this down. This is already upgraded. So with the 5 XP, we can upgrade this at least to 3. And I don't think there's one more turn, so we are done with the region. So we are at Rodving again in the final battle. Let's look at our deck. So we do have a good movement card, an okay attack, a blank. Actually, I'm not sure what this is, probably a blank. That's a blank. Then we do have 2 level 4 attacks, an okay movement, a really upgrade movement, but it's also good for the battle. Again, an adept, and these 2 are all probably blanks. Nice movement card, but these are all good in the final battle as well. And another adept, it's not that good. So we are a bit stretched thin with good attack cards. So we should really take care that we get at least 2 in the final hand. That should be our goal. Movement is more than enough here. And the adept would also work for movement. So 2 attack cards in the final hand. Let's see, let's shuffle and let's see what our first set of 7 cards is. So we do get one of the movement cards. then a blank, then another blank, one of the okay attack cards, that's not so good, another movement card, another blank, and another blank. I think that's okay, especially since the face card is also something that we are okay to discard. These are 7 cards, that's true. So let's see, that would be 12 movement each. Blue with a really bad card, that's nice. Red with a card that's not that good, which gives us a +4 and a +3. No red movement, so that's irrelevant. That feels quite good actually. So that's blue, that's yellow. So we do have 24 with another 7, that's 31. Blue 16, yellow 15, 31. So we are acing the journey. Losing one card that we are not fond of anyway. I don't think there's anything left to say, and we will have a lot of good cards for the final battle. Maybe we can reach 32 attack, let's see. So let's get rid of all this. And the good thing is we now have 8 cards, and we do know that there's a lot of really good boost cards and so on. So blank, unfortunately, a good attack card, a good boost card, another good boost card. That seems like a blank. Adept, let's see. Another good attack card and another blank. So we do have these 3 cards for attacks, but we do need to take care of our initiative. I feel like we should use any of those for the initiative. So maybe go with 7 and power this, and then power this with another card here. So let's see. The downside here is that of all of our attack cards, and the red I do not really count because of the armor of course, we do use the best ones except for this 1 point here. But this allows us to have an initiative of 10 and have the correct elements already. So the early damage is avoided, which does give us attack of 19 with a kicker of 10, so that's 29. But again, it's not 32. I don't know how against Rodving you should come up with 32 attack. Maybe we have to lean into red after all, even though, because these are the best attack cards after all. If you have multiple attacks of 14, then you would have a net 24 instead of 19. So that's 5 points already. So that's maybe something to think about. Yeah, but I don't think using this is any good. The boosts are not that good. We are using the best boost here, and there's 1 point left here. If we use this as a boost instead, okay. But I don't think we can shuffle this around. If we move this here, we do need another blue, which we can only get by merging. We could then move this here for the 6 initiative, because we do lose the 7, so we need a 3. And we can't fuse yellow, because there is no other yellow element. So I'm not sure how we would actually do that. But I feel like with these shields here, we should have enough to survive this. I don't think we can get to 32. So that's 19 and 10, that's 19, 29. So at least it's the second tier. We have to take 24 damage in a hand of 8 cards. Let's start with 12, with the very high armor cards. That knocks it, well, it cuts it in half. So it's at 12 already. And this probably means these cards here, which are 13. So 2 other 4s that we downgrade and 2 other 3s that we downgrade. All right, we do win a 3rd time in a row, so our streak is still alive. Don't need to shuffle this, just sort it out. So these 2 are annihilating these for my usual way to count. And that's then 4 and 3, that's 7 points. It's a little bit worse than last time, but still a good, respectable score. So it's 39 in total, if you count a 32 from the starting deck. All right, so the streak is live. So let's go for it again. And in the Jade Mountains, we start with Rain of Blood, River Swiftness, Frostfire Wall, and Adept. And our task is to defeat the first enemy with 7 life and 8 initiative. We can get the full damage, that's nice. So we can focus on initiative. And if you take 5 initiative to start with, you only need +2, which would be a River Swiftness. That would leave the Adept open. So 7 initiative. Actually we need 8. So we do need to swap that. Yeah, so I probably got confused by the 8 because we need 7 and 8, but this is actually 1 over damage and we do need 8 initiative. So 5 + 3 will be the initiative, and the element with 8 damage with a yellow shield against 7 life will be enough. So that's a full victory without taking any damage. And we get 4 XP, that's upgrading 1 card. We would keep the River Swiftness in this variation, which is a good bump in initiative, a really good bump in shield, but not a good bump in the boost. But we can't do it in any other way. What else would I like to upgrade? Frostfire Wall. Actually, I am tempted to go with upgrading the red cards after all. Because if nothing else, even with the armor, they are like exactly equivalent to the 10 attack cards. So what's the point? The problem really is that they are not really good with these other two. But I do have a good shield, it seems. So I'm tempted to make an attempt with upgrading red cards, but that's not a way to start here. These don't have any hardships. This doesn't either. If I upgrade, it doesn't have any as well. So I'm spending my 4 XP I get from the first enemy to upgrade this, the card I'm keeping, to give me an edge. And we are drawing the Burning Bridges, not a good card. Destruction and Adept. And we have a Journey at Night. That's not good. It's the third one. It's the red journey with 2 time penalty. And night means that we have to subtract the initiative. But then again, we do have one of these bad cards in quotes where the initiative really sucks. So this is a net +1. And we could start with 9 movement, but we only have the blue element here. Nevertheless, this would not boost us at all. This would be a net +1, so we are at least reaching 10. But I don't think we can make it work, unfortunately, because with the red movement, we'd have to fuse, which does mean we do not have a reserve card and it's pointless. So we'd rather start with a high value where we only need 2, but the night hardship makes it impossible to get a boost of 2 if we subtract the initiative. So at that point, we are at a partial success only. We have to take the time penalty. And so we do need only 6 movement. And we can think about what to keep. If you want to go with the upgrade route here, we could keep something like this, but it doesn't interact with this in any way. We don't have any yellow, but we could keep any of those to power the fleet-footed if it comes to another journey. Problem really is that upgrading these cards do not give you any nice boost whatsoever. So this is really why I do shy away from this like a little bit. 6 movement. We do not have purple and we do not have red, which pretty much means that this is the only way to actually get a lot of movement. But we could just make it with a 3+3, for example, so we could still make it work and could hold on to this if we want to upgrade this again. The way we can't actually. That might be a reason to just still keep this, to be able to power this. Just be content with 6 movement. That's a partial victory. Actually, no, it's still night. The night really screws us here, so we do have to power something. Yeah, okay. So we do power with the blue, the river swiftness, because the boost, we just won't get any boost here. So we do have to come up to 6 movement without a boost. And that's the only way to do it. At that point, it doesn't matter what we keep. And we should probably keep the Adept then. Actually, we will lose this anyway because of the time penalty. That's so bad. We could reach 6 with fusing and a net +1 boost, but it's pointless. But we can also reach with 5 with a net +1. So that works. So subtracting the initiative means 7 minus 1 is 6. It's still partial victory. And then we can, for example, hold on to the destruction and upgrade this. Let's try that, yeah. Let's first see what the time penalty is, but then we already have the action set fixed. I think I want to try that. Maybe that's my downfall for the streak. So 2 time penalties, sort of light and fleet-footed. These two don't interact well, but it doesn't matter. We do get 4 XP, and I do want to upgrade the destruction. Let's see what happens. So we do get this, the river swiftness, and a motivated flight. At least that's a red element, and we can fuse this to power this, for example. Let's see. Journey 4 is purple movement 10 without a hardship. Yeah, as just said, we can fuse to get yellow, but we would have blue, but we don't have any boost to speak of. So if we fuse this to get yellow, we do at least have 10 and then solve the journey. But I do think with the 2 time penalty and 2 played rounds, then we will lose our last turn. But if we do not make it a full success, we will have 1 time penalty anyway, so that doesn't matter at all. It's just 3 XP, but do I really want to divert? We could hold on to this set that powers this and still work on another journey, at least partially, if we allow, well, we can't, because we can't produce yellow then. Yeah, I don't think I want to divert. Let's just go for this. So we are fusing for 10 and then we are solving this, we get 3 XP and then we are just done with the first region. So we can't upgrade this or this. And I think I want to go with the theme of going with the red cards this time. So let's upgrade the Rain of Blood. At least that's a huge attack. And we don't have enough to fight another round due to fusing. Without fusing, we would have a time penalty. So unfortunately, that's it for the first region. But at least I think we didn't downgrade anything. We upgraded 2 red cards. We upgraded River Swiftness to the nice armor. But that's it for the first region. And we progress to the Living Marches. Brute Force, Fleet-Footed, Frost Fireball, River Swift. At least 1 card is upgraded. We have to fight the 3rd enemy. which is a slow enemy with 2 initiative, 15 life. We do have good movement and not good attacks. At least that's good. Initiative is okay besides the brute force. The best boost we have is 3, so we can't reach 15, unfortunately. So if we just boost any of those, it just will be enough. We'll have to play an attack of 8, which is not red to do it without movement, which is a boost of 3 with any of the 5 attacks. I think we should think about what to keep. It's blue, blue, yellow, yellow. So nothing boosts this. Nothing is boosted by this, so it's completely irrelevant. But we do have an adapt. 8 XP. So it's probably a river swiftness and something of those. But we do have to take 4 damage, which again downgrades the river swiftness. Yeah, so we should probably downgrade this to just downgrade 1 card and then upgrade 2. So we can just go with 5 initiative and a damage of 9 because it's slow. So the boost doesn't actually matter. But since I'm downgrading, actually I'm downgrading this. So I could keep this card or this. This doesn't matter. And this is a really good boost. Nice movement. Also good boost, attack or movement. Yeah, so I'm taking a damage into river swiftness. And with the 8 XP, this I have to discard anyway. These are not good armor values. These are even worse. These are really high. So I should probably, actually we have to get rid of this anyway. So for 3 and 4 XP, we can get rid of all the hardships. So this is what we do. And we hold on to the fleet-footed. All right, so we draw the Adept, a Rain of Blood, and another Rain of Blood. I think we can power everything and we have good movement and attack. Let's see. Journey 2, a 13 blue, no hardships. And 13 should be reachable. For example, with 11 plus 2. That would keep the Adept open. 7 XP would allow us to upgrade 2 cards. Actually, I think I'm going with this then, because I want to upgrade this and hold on to it. So 11 plus 3 is 14 movement against 13 blue. So for victory, 7 XP. We are upgrading the Rain of Blood to level 4. So we have our first combat card on maximum. And so we have 3 left. We can't upgrade this. And I do think I want to upgrade the next red card and see how far the strategy takes us. So River Swiftness, Frostfire Wall, sort of light. Unfortunately only 1 card upgrade, but it is a fight against a 4th enemy. That looks quite good. So 13 life and we have a 14 attack that we can actually power. And the 5 initiative is already enough. But I think these 2 cards will actually just defeat this enemy. That's so cool. So 5 initiative, 14 damage, no red armor. So at that point we can keep either of those 2. And this at least interacts with this card. This does not. We would get 7. So this is already upgraded. I think we upgrade this definitely. Unless it's, yeah, it given us a hardship again. A storm. But I do think actually it's just plus 3. Do I hold on to this after all? This does not give a hardship and this actually has a night hardship which I would want to get rid of. But it's the wrong element for this. Yeah, and maybe we go for the Sword of Light to get rid of the hardship. That's 3 XP. And then we use the other 4 to upgrade this and see if we can get rid of the storm. Determined March, Motivated Flight and Destruction, so 2 upgraded cards. And again, enemy 4. I'm not sure if I can do it again. Actually, maybe we can, which is a 5 initiative and 10 damage. And any plus 3 will do. How many cards do we have left? Not enough. Okay, so we won't have another turn anyway. So I don't think it matters at that point. So 5 initiative will avoid the freeze and the early damage. 10 red damage without red armor, plus 3 is 13, which kills it. So it's another 7 XP. And we did want to get rid of the storm, but then we can't upgrade anything else. So we would have to upgrade these 2 and leave them at 3. But I do think this introduces another hardship. Yeah, actually both will introduce hardships. The destruction would be nice to upgrade, but I think I'd rather get rid of the storm for the moment. So let's do that. And again, this is not enough for another turn. So this ends the region 2, but I think it was quite successful. We have a level 4 card now with nice armor and boost, nice initiative. Then we have a destruction upgraded. A Sword of Light, Rain of Blood already at maximum, Rain of Blood upgraded, Fleet-footed upgraded, Frostfire Wall upgraded. I think that's quite nice. Actually, we should pay attention to the red elements. One is the Burning Bridges, which will never be a good element to power red combat card, because it sucks from its initiative. Then we have the Motivated Flight that we did not upgrade yet. I'm not sure we need to, because it has a nice initiative already. So it's probably a reason to just keep it at that. Even 4 is okay. Frostfire Wall, same thing. So actually, the cards that power the good combat cards already have a good initiative anyway. There's no need to upgrade this. Adept maybe would be worthwhile to upgrade. Alright, let's shuffle and let's continue to the Burning Basin. And we start with a River Swiftness, Determined March, so nothing upgraded yet. Fleet-footed and Frostfire Wall, so 2 upgraded cards, that's nice. And we do have a Journey, 11 purple, no hardships, which means that the 11 will just do it. And we do have the matching element. At that point, everything else is irrelevant. What do we want to keep? This does interact with this. So I think I want to get rid of this. Also allows us to spread out the XP a little bit. It's 5 that we get, so this we can't upgrade. Do we lose 1 XP by just not using this, by upgrading this? It's just such a nice upgrade. But we are at Ambush again, but we do keep it so we can upgrade it again. I think I want to try that. It's a 9 movement that we can power if there's another journey. And it's a 5 attack at least that might give us a partial victory. So I think I'm trying that. So 15 movement actually. Do we need that much? We can't power this. We can't power this without losing this. Yeah, I think we leave it at that. And we do get 5 XP, which means this we can't upgrade. But I do want to upgrade the card I'm holding on to, and even though it's ambush, but I want to upgrade it again or run something into it to downgrade it again. So fleet-footed, River Swiftness, Adept. And we do have a journey, which is 10 red treacherous. Without complete victory, we suffer a damage. So 10 movement should be attainable. We don't have yellow, we don't have blue, but we do have purple. So we can just use this, maybe hold on to this, let's see. That would be 9, 12 purple, and we only need 10. That's 5 XP, and we would upgrade the Determined March to get rid of the ambush. I did want to upgrade the Adept at some point, and we could hold on to that instead of this, but it would not be upgraded. But it would interact at least with this, but I think the +5 and 9 is just far too good. So let's get rid of the ambush. Let's hold on to a level 4 card and move on to not upgraded cards and a destruction. Enemy 3, which is poisonous, 11 health and 9 initiative. So unfortunately we do not have 11 attack to concentrate on the initiative, but we would have an initiative of 9, but it can't power anything useful. But if we are not going for a full victory and avoiding early damage, then that might be irrelevant. So this would avoid the early damage. And we then need 6 attack, which would be 5 plus any of those. But the poison does suck a bit. The others have much nicer initiative. So maybe there's a reason to divert, keeping this combination here that we have an okay initiative with 10 damage and a nice boost. That would be an action set. That gives us 5 initiative and a lot of damage. It still doesn't kill fully this one. For ranged, well, we are screwed if it's ranged anyway. And this with slow, we can at least get 12, but we lose the boost. But we would be at 14, but the initiative sucks. I'm not sure it's worth it. So we can let the initiative go, hold on to this nice card, and just say we are going for 12 fire. Actually fire damage doesn't work here. We need a better boost. We don't have one. So I don't think we can not play this card. Can we hold on to this, which wouldn't interact with this at all? We probably go for the high initiative and then go with a partial victory. But I'm not sure what I would hold on to then. It's really sad that we can't do without the destruction, because this would avoid the initial damage, so we just need a partial victory, but that's just 5 damage and we need 6. If we instead try for a full victory without the initiative, we need 11 damage, which we can't do with this, because we just have +5. So I don't think we can do without a destruction, and we can't do without the River Swiftness either. Actually, do we? We can come up with 12 fire damage. Again, the armor. Okay, so I think we visited this option already, and we can't even come up with 9 initiative with these kind of boosts, so I think we need both cards, which does mean that we can either hold on to Frostfire Wall or to Motivated Flight, and we need to take a damage into the next hand as well. That really sucks. Maybe I should divert. It would be the one penalty that we can accept, but I'm sure it's better. So we should hold on to these 2 cards, of course, and this would be a nice movement right away. But then to power this, we should keep a red card as well, where we will anyway. The boosts do not matter. The initiative is the same. Yeah, I'm diverting. I'm tossing the Motivated Flight to toss the Brute Force. And now we are in a journey, actually, journey 3, which is red 10 treacherous, which is irrelevant if we make it. So I think that's just 12 blue, 14 blue, and that's it. And we get 5 XP. That's so nice. And I think at that point I'm upgrading the destruction again to level 4. Frostfire Wall would also be nice. Maybe spreading it out a bit is a actually I want to try that. It's also a red shield, so let's upgrade this. We don't hold on to any cards, unfortunately, but the diversion I think worked. So we do have a final hand of almost only upgraded cards, and against the first enemy, which is 5 initiative, 17 life, and we do have a Rain of Blood. But unfortunately, when it comes to initiative, we would have to use this, and we can't merge it with or fuse it with anything, and it can't power anything. So I don't think we can reach the initiative without boosting. And there's no card that does 17 damage. So I do think we have to live with either not reaching the initiative or not reaching the damage. Reaching the damage I don't think is a problem. We can just fuse these, for example, for red. And then we are actually at 17. It doesn't have a red armor. So we will make it. There will not be another round. We can't upgrade this or damage it. So we do have to soak 3 damage. And we do have 9 XP. I don't want to soak this or downgrade it, which I guess means the Sword of Light goes down to level 2, which introduces the Night Hardship. I don't know. I do want to upgrade this badly to go with the strategy. And this I can't downgrade. Well, I think I have to live with the Night Hardship here. So this soaks. We upgrade this for 3, leaving 6. And we are upgrading the Rain of Blood to go with the theme here. So that's the Burning Basin. We did introduce the Night Hardship, but we do have 2 upgraded red cards. Yeah, actually all of them are now upgraded. We do have some others upgraded. I don't think there's a level 1 even in the deck. Hardship wise, we do have the Knight. And I think that's actually it. So that sounds good. If we can avoid that, that would be good. All right, so we arrive at the Forest of Garth with Fleet-Footed, Adept, Rain of Blood, and Burning Bridges. So a lot of upgraded cards. And we do not have the Night Hardship at least to begin with. So it's enemy 3, which is 14 life, 8 initiative, which is freezing. Unfortunately, it does have an armor of 2 against red and 2 against yellow. So the 14 does not immediately kill it. And the only red element we have has a really bad initiative. And we do not really want to get frozen. So I do think we have to fix for initiative and then just come up with 7 damage. So the 7 damage of an element that does not need any tempering would be the Adept with the element from Rain of Blood. So we start with a 4 initiative and we do need +4 then. So that would be the way to do that. So avoiding the freezing and the early damage, and then have 7 attack of a damage that is not reduced. That's a partial victory. We do get 4 damage, unfortunately, from yellow, but do get 8 XP. So I feel like we have to take this here into the Fleet-Footed, which goes down to level 2, unfortunately. Then this is already at maximum, but we can then upgrade the Burning Bridges, so the card in hand, and the Adept. So this goes to 4, and this goes to the level 3 side. And at least these interact with each other, so that's good. And I think it's good that we upgrade another card with shields at least. So let's see, Adept, Fleet-Footed, Determined March. So 2 upgraded cards and the first journey. 14 blue Treacherous. We can easily reach 12, and that would be 14 with the Burning Bridges. So no hardships. Treacherous is irrelevant if we have a complete victory. Purple 12, 14. That's all it needs. I think that's good. That would mean we hold on to the Adept. Is there any other way around it? We don't have blue movement. And if we do not start with 12, we don't have that nice boost here. I think that's it. So we can't upgrade this. We do have 7 XP then. And I feel upgrading this doesn't do that much. It's just 1 initiative. If we use this to power one of the red attacks, then we need another 6. Yeah, I think I want to upgrade these 2 with 7. That's just far too nice. So the Fleet-Footed goes to level 3 and the Adept goes to level 3. Frostfire Wall, River Swiftness, Motivated Flight. Again, only 2 cards being upgraded. Journey 4 is 11 yellow, which are steep, so the reserve cards boost will get in our way. But we do have yellow movement that we can actually power, and the boost then will probably cancel each other out. Is that true? So we will be at 8, 12. That would be enough, but this boost increases this to 15, unfortunately. But we are yellow, so this boost also counts. So that's the point here. So with yellow, we have 8 yellow movement that matches the color of the journey. So both boosts are taken into account. That's another 8 at 16. This increases this to 15. And that's pretty much it. We still win. We would hold on to an Adept that interacts with this card quite well. Actually, this would not matter the orientation, so we could power 12 movement instead. But we do need the yellow movement. I think that was the MVP. 5 XP. I think I want to upgrade this at least once because it is one of the cards that powers one of our good attack cards. And the initiative just gets really bumped up. But I'm not sure this is so important if we can fuse. Upgrading this would be really nice because it interacts with this and we have 2 level 4 cards then. But these are level 2. But we can just upgrade 1 because the journey just gives 5 XP. That's 1 armor. That's a huge bump in armor, unfortunately. That's just such a good card to upgrade. But we do need this to power this, so we can't keep it. Do I want to hold on to this to power this instead if I don't upgrade this? It seems like there's enough blue coming up, so that's not a good reason. I think I will just leave the action set as is. So yellow, 16 against 15. 5 XP, and this is just far too good to pass on bumping this up so much. It's a nice initiative, a good movement card. Let's do that. All right, River Swiftness, Frost Wall, Rain of Blood. And there is the Night Hardship that we did not get rid of. So we did hit it. It's 14 blue Treacherous with Night. So we lose the initiative of our boost. But we do have blue movement. So if we fuse this, actually it doesn't matter if we go for blue. But we don't have a better movement card. So probably it's still a good thing to do. Let's see if we do that. We will have a movement of 15. But it's actually in this, well, it doesn't help. So it's just stuck at 12. Did we already lose time? No, we did not. But we are in our last hand. So we should have 3 cards. Yeah, that's true. And we could divert. That would be possible because we do have a really good combat card. But we would lose the movement because if we drop a card, we can no longer fuse to play that. But we could still play 7 movement at least for a hopeful partial victory. And we just get rid of the knight. That's the problem here. Because if we boost that at 7 and the treacherous is just so bad. Yeah, so I do think we have to drop this with the reason that this can power this. But the initiative will be bad, but it will kill almost everything right away. And we do still have a movement just like this, so that's 12 even. Yeah, let's screw it. I'm going with the worst card that I have and I'm diverting. So we are now battling enemy 4 with this set. That's 17 damage, 7 initiative, and we can get enough damage to have a full victory because it doesn't have red armor, and that would be 19 damage with the red element. And we don't get to 7 initiative unless we are playing this, but that would then only power this card where it actually has an armor off, so there's no gain in that. So I think we have to take the 5 damage, which unfortunately means, well, I'm not downgrading this. Is this? Actually, it's already almost upgraded. Okay, so yeah, I think I have to let the river swiftness go down a notch. This I can't upgrade, but then again, this is then upgraded to its full potential. I think that went quite well, and that's it for the Forest of Garth. So we are fighting Rodving yet again, and we do have all our nice attack cards. Screw the armor, basically. That's the idea here. With an adapt if we want to, an okay movement, a good movement, a really good movement, another adapt. These combat cards, they pay for themselves in the region phase, I think. So maybe it was bad to avoid that. There's a good kicker card. These are then mostly blanks, I think. Which does mean we have to really take care that we get these cards in the right phase. So if we get all of them in the first hand, we have to regroup. If we get only one, we don't regroup. That's pretty much the point. I think the worst case that can happen is that we have one in our starting hand and one in the card that we would toss. But then we should probably regroup because we then draw it right away. Actually, that's a bad reason because then it will be in the movement. So I think we can still get screwed, but we do have the adapt to compensate for battle. All right, let's see what happens if we shuffle this up. That should really be enough. So let's see what first we get. So there's a red movement card. That's a good opening, but there's a red combat card as well. There's a good boost, a good movement card, another combat card. That's bad. Another movement and another movement. And the face card is actually a movement card. I think that means that we need to regroup because we have to shuffle them back in. And we do draw a good movement card right away. So it's not bad that we toss this. We will not have this later. The question really is what do we actually remove here? And I would probably go for the worst card here. So we discard this, shuffle them up and regroup, which means that we do give them a good shuffle. But I'm not exactly sure why we do that actually, because this will be on the bottom of the deck and we draw all our cards anyway and we will not draw into them right now. At least I don't think so. Actually, it might be that we are dropping some of these cards if we go for a huge time penalty. So these should be 15 cards. We are drawing 7 and we just shuffled back 8. So I had 2 in the middle. Yeah, so I think there's just a chance that you toss one of them, but that's pretty much it. For the rest, the shuffling should not matter at all. So there's the movement card we spoke of. There's an adept, another movement card, another adept. Then there's a blank, and a blank, and we will lose a destruction, unfortunately. All right, so let's start with a good movement card. Unfortunately, we don't have the right element for this. We don't have red movement. So I do think we can just take 2 almost blank cards so that they have a bad boost to come up with the matching element. And we do not have an element to power those. So we probably just need a 9 movement here from blue, which allows us to use these boosts here. I think that works out quite well. So we do have blue, we do have violet or purple. That's a movement of 21 with a boost of 10 at 31. I think we just aced the journey, but still we will lose the destruction, but there's no way around that. Which does mean with 9 cards gone, we now have only 6. That's the problem with the regrouping. No, that can't be right. Actually, it has to be right. Okay. So with 9 cards gone, we now have 7. Okay. Because we did ace this and we just tossed 1 card. So if you're playing perfect with 7 cards for the journey and one time penalty, you will have 8 cards. And we did do that, but we now have 7 nevertheless because we did regroup. But I think that's fine because we do still have 2 of our big battle cards and we have 1 red element to power 1 of them, which has a bad initiative, and we do need to fuse them. Both fuse sets have 4/3 kickers, so it doesn't matter at all. So we take the best initiative, distribute the boosts, and I don't think there's much we can improve. But the point really is that with these 14 attacks, we are now at 28. With an armor of 4, that's 24. That's really good. And we do get another 7, which brings us up to 31. Again, not reaching the highest threshold, but it works out perfectly, even though you are playing for colors that the dragon has a resistance of. And we would have the right initiative to avoid the early damage, obviously. And these cards do have high armor values, that's nice. And we do have another high armor values, and even a matching color here. So I do think we will win this. But let's see, is there any way to come up with more damage? So I think there's no way around playing these 2, because this is just far too much damage. And once we played the first, the other one is a given. There's no sense in exchanging the other one. And 2 other combat cards, they don't have nearly enough damage. We can only fuse once and we have to power both, which doesn't mean these are the 2 fusing sets. And as said, the boosts are actually the same. So I don't think we can come up with more attacks. So it's a red 18 and it's a red 17, which would be 35, but with the 4 armor, 31. So we again 1 shy of the last threshold. So we have to soak up 24 damage. Let's start with 4 here. Brings it up to 20. Then we have 10 here, brings it up to 10. And then we need 3 cards. I don't think there's a way around this. If we just use these 2, there's just 1 damage left. So let's just take these here. So level 1, and these 2 are then downgraded to level 2. And that's it, but we do win again. So our streak is still live with 4 wins now. And we did change strategy completely to upgrade the red cards instead. Let's see what the score says. So this cancels out. So that's 3 and 8, that's 11 plus, or 43 if you want to put it like this. So score-wise, there's no huge difference. I think the biggest jump in score will be when you actually reach the 32 damage, but I'm still not sure how. Probably our boosts were lacking now. It was just +4, +3. So they are obviously much better boosts, up to +6. So from the 7 total, you can easily get to 10 or so, and that would just do it. And if we did not lose the other destruction card, then probably would have another shield of 5, I would think. Yes, probably. So that would have been another point where we stopped the downgrade. But I guess these 9 damage are much more impactful when it comes to score. All right, so really nice. So I do think we have Rodving down by now. I'm not sure if it makes sense to continue the streak at that point, but at least I will let it be for now. And this probably means that we continue with other dragons for the next videos. And to be quite honest, I think the biggest change in strategy was to avoid the hardships on upgrading, to be much more conscious about that, because you do run into those quite often actually when you shuffle them in for the next journey or for the next region. The instances where we did not avoid it, we actually did bump into them. I do think still it's probably unlucky. But nevertheless, if you don't prevent them, and I had a deck from time to time where I did not even have a hardship in the deck, so you just have to face the things as they are, because if you combine these with hardships, that's really bad. I mean, ambush is really bad, because you sometimes can't avoid the early damage, especially if you have a ranged enemy. The night travel is really bad. The storm, usually you can suffer a time penalty of like 1 or 2 cards. It's not a big deal. You don't lose a turn right away, but if you also suffer damage, that's really bad. The hazardous is the only one where I think, okay, translating a time penalty, well, it will suck if you then lose a turn because of this. But avoiding the hardships was, I think, the biggest gain I could have gotten, because it means that region phase is much smoother. Going for the red cards, I think, went quite well, because we can then do really high damage values, which makes the region phase probably work a bit better. But then again, it could still be all down to luck on what you draw. So after 4 games, I'm not calling it like I've learned the game or something like this. I still don't know what huge mistakes I made in the other games, besides not thinking about hardships. I think that's the biggest difference I can currently come up with. Besides being just really unlucky, because having just movement against an enemy that really screws me, diverting twice and still not being able to do anything, that's probably not lucky. But then again, we will see. So I hope you enjoyed the streak. It did not end with this video. Let's see if we continue it or not. But I will probably go for another dragon. But we will see. See you in this next game.